Kempire is brought to you by
The Kempire After Dark live experience, The Villain Era, is returning to New York City. Tickets have gone on sale right now, and live stream tickets are available, plus meet and greets for those that will be attending the show in person. So if you want to hear hot topics, Real Housewives recaps, and so much more, and an opportunity to ask me questions live and in person, this is your time. We're bringing the Kempire After Dark live experience back to New York City's The Green Room 42. More information on how you can get tickets, live stream tickets, meet and greet tickets, and more will be available in the description. Come meet me on Friday, September 12th at the Green Room 42 for the Kempire After Dark live experience, The Villain Era. I'll see you guys soon.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? I'm celebrating my birthday all week, okay? All week. I really should celebrate my birthday all month, but I will be celebrating my birthday at least for this week, okay? Thank you to everyone that sent out a birthday comment, birthday shout out, a birthday whatever it may be. Look at my camera all switch away. There we go. I didn't even check that before I got in here. Let me switch. There we go. All right. Woo. It's a live show. All right. Thank you guys so much for all the birthday wishes. I really wish I could say thank you to each and every one of you, but I am overwhelmed by all of the birthday messages and comments and text messages. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just so grateful to be here, happy, healthy, most importantly, healthy. Okay. All right. Yeah. Turning 30 yet again for the 14th time. You know what? I didn't have a great 21st birthday. I had to think about that. First of all, I had a couple things to say before we get into our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Is it just me? And you guys let me know. Maybe I'm just being a little temperamental because it's a full moon tonight. Okay. I don't understand. I don't like it when people are saying, so when they know it's your birthday, so what do you have planned? Unless you're inviting me somewhere, unless you're throwing me a surprise birthday party, don't ask me that question. So what do you have planned? Please understand, normally if I have something planned, you will see it, okay? You will see it happening. I don't know, I just find that question like, maybe I don't have anything planned and it's okay. It's all right. Maybe on Mother's Day, I want to stay in the house and do nothing. Especially because it's Mother's Day. Where am I going on Mother's Day where they're not upping the price for everything and everybody's celebrating with they mamas, which is okay. Happy belated Mother's Day. But stop asking me, what you got planned? Oh, so Andrew says, oh, me too. I hate that question. Okay. Oh, look, Natalie says, I hate that question. I thought I was the only one. What do you have planned? Because normally I do have like, I'm traveling, I'm doing. So I don't know. For this particular year, I was like, stop asking me that damn question. What do you have planned? Stop asking me that question. Unless, because I know one particular person, I asked them that question. No, did I ask them the question? I don't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is not directed at anyone particular, but I got that question a lot. So what do you have planned? I know, because some of you want to live through me vicariously when I travel somewhere. Please understand, you will know. I got to throw you guys off the scent sometimes. You know, normally I'm always traveling during my birthday. I got to throw you off the scent. I'm going to travel during something else. Anyway, there was something else about birthdays that I wanted to address. I can't remember now. Look, the Canadian POV says, Kempire, you sound like a grumpy old man. Okay, I am a man of a particular age. Okay. What? Okay, Rhonda says, my birthday was last Thursday. People asked me the same thing. I went to the Met opening Saturday. Excuse me, Rhonda. I did nothing. It was a Sunday. I did nothing. It was a Sunday, and it was Mother's Day. If it was just a Sunday, then you could probably get away and do something. But Mother's Day, you know, people are taking their mothers out. People are like, it's a big holiday. It's not like Father's Day. Just saying. What else? What else was there in regards to birthdays? Oh, I froze. Please hold. This is how we're going to start on my birthday celebration, technology gods. But here I am. At least I saw it. But thank you guys so much for all the birthday wishes, and thank you so much for the super chats already. Thank you guys. Naomi, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate your support. Thank you, Ode. Thank you so much for the super chat. Is this from Qatar or Qatar? Is that the correct pronunciation? Thank you so much for your generous. Based off the color, I could tell it was very generous. So thank you so much for the super chat. Wishing you a happy birthday. Thank you so much. Ode? Is that how you pronounce it? Am I pronouncing it incorrectly? Probably. You know how I am. But it's all right. I'm going to try and do better in this new year of my life. Okay? Exactly. And that says the home was my gift. And I'm a homebody. I literally had to push myself to go out. Because it was like, I was tired yesterday. Anyone else was tired? It could be the full moon. There's a full moon in Scorpio this week. Tonight. And I was like, I'm kind of a little tired, but I forced myself to get up and go outside yesterday because it was beautiful here in New York City. So I said, let me get up and go outside. And as soon as I went outside, my energy came back to me. But I was like, I didn't feel like getting up and Can I just lay in a bed on a Sunday? I don't have to recap Love and Marriage Huntsville no more. I love having my Sundays back. All right. Ateka, you're right. I need to shimmy for a super chat. Let me shimmy for that super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Dr. Miss Honey, thank you so much for the super chat. Dr. Miss Honey. Oh, I have to shimmy for that one too. You're going to have me shimmying a lot today. Happy birthday, Kempire. Here's to many more 30th B-days. The butter is buttering. I love that. Thank you so much for that. And yes, guys, don't forget our partners over at Butter. I've been trying out their soap now, their lip balm, and their body lotions. So check out all the things in the description for your 10% off. All right. If I remember again, Amanda particular, if I remember the other birthday related topic that I wanted to talk about, I will tell you, but look, I do want to talk about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Guys, how would you rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? I have to say, this week it's doing, oh, damn, I thought it was doing better. Up until the live, I was checking, and it was doing really well. It had a strong 7 to 10 score with like 40-something%. Damn it, but now everyone's here, and now the score has gone back down. 50% of your voting that this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta is between a 4 and a 6. 49-50%. Like, people are voting. Keep voting, y'all. I'll double back and check to see what the votes are. Oh, damn, it's a struggle. Okay. All right. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, guys. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. This is our weekly recap of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And, of course, my birthday celebration, because everyone's asking me, what are you doing? I'm here. I'm working. Can you imagine? You know, it is what it is. All right. But stay tuned, because I'm still trying to narrow down where I want to travel to next. I'm open to the ideas, so feel free to let me know good ideas. And maybe something will speak to me. Anyway, I was also playing around with this. Isn't this cute? Anyway, back to this. All right. So Real Housewives of Atlanta. I have many thoughts. I will be twerking on a fence. I will be 1 minute I'm on someone's side, the next minute I'm on someone else's side. Thank you guys on TikTok for all the gifts and the taps and the likes. I appreciate that. I will be twerking on a fence. I'll be twerking like Shamea twerks all the damn time. That's how much twerking I will be doing during this recap. All right, Mia Moore. Mia Moore says I leave for Maui on Wednesday. Anybody ask you? I'm playing. That's just jealousy over here. Jealousy. Okay. Thank you, Alma. Honestly, I think you're cuter than that AI Kempire. Thank you. They can't capture the cuteness, okay? Lungi just says, come to South Africa. I knew you guys were going to say that. I mean, I want to. Stay tuned. All right, let me get to this recap, y'all. Real Housewives of Atlanta, because there's so much that I want to say. I watched this episode so many damn times. If you had to, those that are watching on TikTok and those that are in the live chat want to give me their specific score, if you had to rate this week's episode from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? I have to say this week's episode was by far more entertaining than all the episodes this season so far. Anyone else? I'm not saying it was fantastic. I'm not saying it was a 10, but I was more entertained by this week's episode. Why am I freezing? Please hold. Y'all about to get just the AI Kempire in a second. Y'all just about to get the AI Kempire in a second. I think I have to change one of the wires. Not sure what it is. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, so let's start off with this, the different scenes that we got. All right. So Kelli at home with her kids. Not a lot happened here, but Kelli is just sort of setting us up. I guess is to make more sense of what's happening in regards to her deciding to get a new home, giving us an update when it comes to her divorce. As you know, she won custody of the home, ownership of the home, but she has to sell it. So she's going to sell the home, and I guess she's saying that what they're living in now is much smaller than what they're used to. So the other home that she lives in with her ex, Mark, was like 7,000 square feet. That's a lot. All right. And she's now living in this townhouse, but she's now ready to expand and move somewhere else. Here's the thing with Kelli. I like Kelli. I like her. I like her for the show. I like the fact that she's so festive. I said this last week. The fact that she's been able to, every time she shows up at someone's house, she never comes with her hands swinging. She always brings a gift or something. She's very festive. I like the energy. She's very fun. She's very loud. I don't love that part, but it's great for the show. All right. However, I just feel like the money might be a little funny. I'm not sure. I feel like the spending is, I'm like, And it's not just because of the lawsuit, because we were talking about this even before we found out about the lawsuit where she owes money on rent at that place. It's not just because of that. I'm just sensing the money might be a little funny. I don't know. I'm sensing something. That's a little something. Like, not Dorit funny, because, Dorit's money's funny too. Maybe Dorit funny. I don't know. But I'm going to keep watching. And then rewind back the tape and say, oh, Kempire, you felt it. Janice says, us Pisces are an acquired taste. I know it. Anyway, so that was that little scene at the top in regards to Kelli and her moving. So she moved from I wish we could have seen the old home that she used to live in. Bree says, I'm indifferent to Kelli. I can understand, but she's a newbie. So being indifferent to someone, I could understand. You're getting to know them. You have to warm up to them. The same with Angela. Everyone's like, oh my God, Angela's queen. And da-da. I'm not going to say Angela's queen yet, but I'm enjoying the energy that Angela's giving so far this season. That's all I will say. Oh, wait a second. Kevin says, maybe that be you are sensing fake. Maybe. And again, I think a lot of times because, especially in 2025, Housewives has been on for like 20 years. So everyone that comes on now, I'm not one to be like, oh, that person's a fan. Don't put a fan on the show. At this particular point, everybody's a fan. So, and I also think everyone is trying to give us what they think Housewives is supposed to be. Ellington says Kelli is an instigator. I agree. And the fact that Kelli was telling Angela in this episode to mind her business, I was like, I think it's funny that you're saying that. But okay, we will run with that. Okay. Anyway, so moving on. So we then have the scene with Porsha and Shamea meeting up with Ralph. And I know what you're all going to say, the nerve, because the big stink that Porsha made about Drew trying to film with Dennis. Fine. However, the fact that Shamea, even on Watch What Happens Live last night, wanted to make it seem, well, Ralph and this is not the same. Ralph and I did a podcast. I almost completely forgot about this podcast that Shamea, Todd, Sonya's husband, and Ralph did. Because how many episodes did they even do? How many? Please, can someone... I meant to double check and I didn't even double check. Because it'd probably be hard to find. I know they posted the videos on... Wasn't it on Candy's channel? Sir, madam, like, come on. This was not... And this is why I kind of give Shamea the side eye. Because you were being Portia's lapdog. You set up this meeting that this was your excuse. And Porsha, Ralph was like, I didn't even know Porsha was going to be there. I didn't know Ralph was going to be there. Y'all playing the audience for fools. And part of me doesn't 100% believe the beef between Shamea and Porsha either. Part of me, there's a small, not maybe small, maybe 30% of me that doesn't believe the Porsha and Shamea drama. Because again, I have to remind you, the storyline that Porsha was supposed to have this season was to be her happily wedded bliss with Simon. Do I believe that there are some core issues between Porsha and Shamea? Yes. But do I think it's convenient that the season where Porsha really has nothing else going on and people are tired of the Drew and Porsha of it all, and that can't be her entire storyline? Now all of a sudden, we shifted to another storyline. And after watching it multiple times this weekend, or between yesterday and today, I'm like, this is interesting. Because if that's your best friend, your sister, and I get it. Porsha is not the most loyal. But if that's your best friend and you're both full-time housewives this season, I just find it interesting that Porsha at no point went to Shamea and like, they're saying that you said this. They're saying that. I just find it hard to believe. And I don't really believe that Porsha is a good, loyal friend to Shamea. But at the same time, I just find it hard to believe at no point off camera, Porsha didn't communicate with Shamea. And now I'm kind of looking at the situation. Is this 100% true? Because now I'm also predicting at the reunion, we're all going to see it. Because I don't even know how Shamea moved on and was good friends with Porsha after how many seasons ago, and Porsha didn't attend her wedding. I don't know how they got to the place where they are today. But if I see at the reunion, Porsha and Shamea have like, oh, you're my sister, and hug it out, and all of a sudden it's all good again, it was a storyline. Because at their big age, the core issues, the fact that this is coming up how many years later, says to me, Porsha is not your friend, Shamea. She's never been your friend. She's been jealous of you for whatever reason. And I feel as if, I'm jumping around because I just have to get this off my chest. If they're able to move forward at this reunion and act as if they're best friends again, I'm calling BS. I'm calling BS on this as a storyline. And at first I was like, I was falling for it. I was falling. Production, you almost got me. You almost got me. But then I was like, I want to wait and see how this all plays out. I'm going to wait. I'm not saying that this couldn't possibly be true, but there's a 30% chance for me that this is just a storyline. Because if this was not a storyline, what else would Porsha be talking about for the rest of the season? The issues between her and Drew? For the rest of the season? How many more episodes for the rest of the season? She's going to continue to have this issue and refuse to talk or make peace with Drew? What else is going on in Porsha's life and storyline? Besides her divorce, what else? I'm asking you, what else? I've been sitting and pondering. I was like, well, no, maybe this is real. They almost got me convinced. They almost fooled me, y'all. They almost fooled me. And then I said to self, especially at your big age, celebrating my new birthday, my new year, I said, you need to trust your instincts. You need to trust your instincts. And my instincts say that Porsha is a liar.
Lies! The lie!
I mean, I already knew that. Porsha, you're really sensitive because I really thought about all the people that I've talked about. Latasha Scott, we've talked about endlessly here on the channel. And she doesn't even have me blocked. You're real sensitive to have so much mouth and to be taking people's husbands. All right, I've digressed. So this conversation with Shamea and Porsha and Ralph. Did y'all notice when Shamea was like, oh, Ralph is going to pay for this, and they were ordering all the food, and Ralph's face was like, that's what Shamea and Porsha does. That's what they do. All right. So Ralph, before Porsha even arrives, he's talking about, he had to open his phone. Ralph's less than smart self had to open his phone and tell us the name of his I was thinking a podcast called like Kings and Queens. You couldn't just say that off the top of your head. You had to look down at your phone notes, and it's sort of like a family feud. And it never came to fruition. Ralph, get off our screens. And the fact that you guys are going to have me defend Drew this week, I hate that for us. And it's not because I don't like Drew, but I just know Drew lies a lot too. But the fact that I have to defend her, I'm like, damn. Because y'all make it so damn easy. All right, I'm yelling. Why am I yelling? I didn't even No, we're going to be taking a musical break. I forgot to bring my water in here. We are going to take a musical break or a commercial break, something. Anyway. Exactly. Lyrical Soul says that's a lame name for a podcast anyway, because that's a lame individual. It wasn't even convincing. We know this meeting of the minds. Meeting of the minds. And when did Shamea become the ultimate podcaster guru? Does she have a podcast that we should know about that she's the one that he should be going to? I don't know her podcast. And again, her talking about doing a podcast with him, and that's her excuse. Even on Watch What Happens, that's her excuse for meeting up with Ralph. And this is why everyone that a couple of weeks ago when they called in, they were like, Shamea is just as bad as Porsha. Shamea is not innocent. So she concocted this plan for Porsha so Porsha could show up. This is why you're not going to get away from those lapdog comments, Shamea. This is the lapdog behavior that people are talking about. This is not loyalty. This is the lapdog behavior. Well, Ralph, and I wanted to spill a little tea and get a little tea too. But Ralph and I, we did a podcast together that no one remembers. They had to show us the footage. I was like, y'all did? Y'all did a podcast together? That lasted how many episodes? How many reviews did it get? Okay. Anyway, but every chance she gets, Shamea throws shade at Drew's singing career. It's something about Drew's singing career bothers you, Shamea. Maybe because people actually are gravitating towards her music. And I'm not going to say that Shamea can't sing. We've said it. Shamea can sing. Shamea, I can't wait to hear your project, because all this talk about her music and her music not being, she said this on the after show, for those that are confused why I'm bringing it up. But I feel like every chance she gets, she tries to take a dig at Drew. And it could be because of the lapdog comment or whatever it may be. But I was sort of like, one thing you shouldn't be taking, one thing that Drew is good at is singing. And her actual projects is actually pretty good. To the point where I was like, I need to do like a short form video and say, like, this is actually a good project. No one should just sort of sleep on this project as just another Housewives project. It's actually really good. And I was like, okay, why are we taking all shots at Drew singing and her music? She did say she liked one of the songs. I Did It For Me. She said she liked on the after show. And I was like, okay, but it was like, it's weird. It's weird. But I do agree with her. Drew does a lot when she talks about her teams and she runs her business like a corporation. I'm like, okay, girl. But okay. Anyway, I've digressed. So they talk about the podcast. Porsha shows up. I'm like, I didn't know Ralph was going to be here. Ralph's like, I didn't know Porsha was going to be here. You guys are not convincing. You guys are not good actors at all. All right. So Porsha says that this is not tit for tat. She's just hungry. That's why she came for this meeting. Ralph claims that he didn't know that Porsha was coming. Porsha then goes in and shares a text message that Dennis sent to her in regards to Drew allegedly trying to sleep with him. If we didn't see last week's scene where Dennis says, you are misinterpreting the text message, I need them to show the text message. All they're showing are the words. No, show the audience, production, the exact text message. Because last week, Dennis was saying you're misconstruing or misinterpreting what was said in that text message. And now she's running with her own narrative, Porsha. Well, it looks like she offered to sleep with Dennis instead of paying. And Dennis was like, I just want my money. Something about that story is fishy. Something about that story is not convincing me, especially when we have liar 1 over here, liar 2 over here, and liar 3 over here. So, and I'm not saying that Drew, again, she's liar 3. But Porsha lies a lot too. And so does Ralph. So I'm like, I need to see the text message for myself. I need to read it for myself. But they have not shown us the text message. And for Porsha to run with the narrative that, well, this is what Dennis told me, and Dennis already told you last week, that's not what it was. He was already saying that's not what Drew meant. So I found that to be weird. But again, Dennis is not a reliable reporter either. He also said that he dropped Drew, and clearly we see that they're still working together. All right, that was a mouthful. Then Porsha brings up the comment that Drew said in the studio with Angela and Shamea. But even in this scene, Shamea says she didn't like the comment. And all of a sudden, the comment was kind of weird where Drew says, like, you know, based off of these royalties, this could be paying for Pilar's college. And in that moment, Shamea's like, don't say that. I think they'll be fine. And I get it. It's a weird comment to mention, but the way Portia's making it seem is that Shamea is bringing it to her in a different way than it was actually said. Because we see what Angela says later, like, well, she was kind of saying it jokingly. And in the after show, Drew is like, well, I'm actually regurgitating what Dennis said, you know, based off of what we're going to be doing with this. It's going to pay for this or pay for that. And I was like, okay, that kind of makes more sense because we thought it was weird when Drew said that. So I was sort of like, okay, when she said that in the after show, Drew, I was like, okay, I can see why it came up in her head to say something like that. I mean, it was funny in the moment, I will say that. But at the same time, I could understand where Porsha would be like, that's weird. Don't bring up my daughter. My daughter will be fine with Dennis around or without Dennis around. I will be taking care of her. So, but even in that moment, although Shamea said, well, she said it in a joking way, I just didn't like that she said it. And I was like, huh. So you're admitting that Drew said it in a joking way, but Portia's making it seem like you brought it to her in a funky way. So I'm not sure who to believe here. Yes, I believe Shamea didn't like the fact that she said it, but I feel like it's actually Porsha exaggerating it. Anyone else? I feel like Porsha is exaggerating it. Anyway, okay, so they talked about that, and here's the thing. Pay attention to that scene. This was all plotted and planned. Because literally as Portia's eating, she's asking these questions like, boom, boom, boom. She literally used this scene so that she can come at Drew. And so that Ralph could come at Drew, so that Ralph can regurgitate the Ty Young rumors. Remember that stuff? So he decided in this, because literally, and again, it could be editing, they were talking about one particular thing, and then all of a sudden, Porsha asked, so who filed? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? It was like so random. Again, we're watching an edited show. It could have been editing, but it was very random. I was just like, so who filed? And he says, I filed because Drew admitted that she was sleeping with Ty Young. So that Ty Young of it all is brought up again. I was like, all right. Sidebar, Shamea, I noticed how you're like, Ty Young's a good one to catch, And Kelly's like, yeah, Ty Young is getting all the ladies, and Ty Young is cute, and blah 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 blah. And then Shamea was just like, yeah, and she got a bag. Priorities, I see Shamea. Again, going back to what you guys have been saying, like Shamea is not that different than Porsha. I'm just pointing out things that stood out to me because y'all got me looking like, never thought about it. Well, I kind of have thought about it that way. All right, moving on from there, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Don't forget, you can also hear a podcast version of our live recaps, but also special episodes like the one that we dropped yesterday, where I'm revisiting season 2 of And Just Like That, the Sex and the City spinoff. If you want to hear my thoughts after watching it yet again recently, and my concerns for season 3, be sure to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. If anything, if you haven't already, that'd be a nice birthday gift. You can give me likes, you can give me, shake for the coins. However, if you just want a nice free way of supporting, head on over to the podcast, either on Spotify or Apple, and give us a 5-star review. Thank you so much in advance. And of course, shout out to our King's Guards in the chat. Happy belated birthday to Mama Ali. Happy belated birthday to Rita. Happy birthday to anyone that's celebrating birthday. It is Taurus season, so happy Taurus season. All right. What else did I want to say about this? So he brings up Ty Young of it all right? They ask him, have you cheated on Drew? So this is why I cannot take Ralph seriously. He denies cheating on Drew. We know you cheated, Ralph. The way you move, we knew you cheated from the jump. You don't need to tell us that you cheated. You cheated, and this was your opportunity to admit it, and you didn't. But okay. I mean, again, they're in the middle of a divorce. I don't think it would be in his... I don't know if they have a prenup. I don't think they have a prenup. Do they have a prenup? I can't remember. So maybe that's part of the reason why he denies cheating on her. But Ralph, all that hesitation... And all that little flirtation from Porsha. Anyone else take that a little bit of flirtation? You ever touched anyone else? You ever smelled anyone else? Where'd you smell them? I'm like, even the way she hugged him, I was just like, Angela, you were right for not bringing her in your home. All right. Shamea and Porsha end up having a conversation about Angela, speaking of Angela. And Shamea doesn't understand how Angela's able to move on with Porsha, but not with her. And she just laughed at what Porsha said. And I said this last week, I'm going to say it again. Shamea, you keep saying that it's not your fight, and I keep telling you it's not your fight until it is, okay? And I honestly don't believe that Angela has truly 100% moved on with Porsha. I think she has just said, I'm good. I think what she was expecting from you was maybe an apology or some acknowledgement. Again, Angela wanting you to admonish your friend in public in the moment, I don't find that to be realistic. I don't find it to be realistic. I think what Shamea should have did in that moment, I'm sorry if me laughing hurt your feelings. I didn't mean, I thought it was funny at the moment, but I understand why you don't find it funny. I apologize. She didn't do that. She just made this cringy comment like, well, this is my sense of humor. And my uncle, he was dressed up in a suit at his funeral. And I was like, he ain't never been. It was weird, cringy vibes. But okay. Porsha says that Porsha didn't ask her to do it. This is the problem. All right. She says that's just the kind of friend that she is. In regards to all these lapdog comments that she gets. She's like, Porsha didn't ask me to do it. That's just the kind of friend that I am. How's that working out for you now, Shamea? All right. Angela. So Angela, as you know, has 5 properties, and she reveals that she's $2 million in debt. And she invites Kelli to this property because Kelli is looking for a home. I didn't get the vibe, though, that this was a scene where that Kelli was really coming there to look at the property to possibly buy the property. I didn't take it as that. I took it more so they were filming to have a scene. Okay. However, the fact, I think it was in the after show, I believe, where it felt like Kelli and Shamea were trying to have that sort of charade. Oh, was it in there? Yeah. It was the after show where Kelli and Shamea were commenting on this rental property that, well, it's not rental property. I guess it's a property that she's renovating and she's going to sell. And Angela said that she's $2 million in debt. But in the after show, Kelli and Shamea were like, oh my girl, like if you needed help. First of all, Shamea, I didn't know that you were into real estate. maybe she is. She's like, I could have bought it off you, and then maybe you could have that vow renewal. I was like, okay, that's shady. Funny. But at the same time, I was sort of like, Shamea, how are you a property expert right now? Here's the thing. The property is a $3 million property. Maybe it's overpriced. And I know people are going to make a big deal of her being in debt for $2 million. However, 5 properties, that's not her main home with Charles. 5 properties, all she has to do is sell one and she's no longer in debt. So I know people are going to make a big deal about Angela being in $2 million of debt. That's not cute. Oh my gosh, she should be concerned. She's developing, building, and selling properties. All it takes is for her to sell one of those properties and then immediately she's no longer in debt. Okay? So I'm not concerned about that. This particular property looked great besides that closet and the pool. But I didn't take Angela showing Kelli this property as a serious buyer for her to fill the pool or trying to impress Kelli to buy this property. Yeah, she was joking about it in the confessions, like, oh, maybe you want to buy this property. I don't think that Kelli was there really there to buy the property. All right. So them making all kinds of comments about Angela. I think they were, again, trying to have a Sheree moment or a Sheree and Kenya moment where, oh, my God, look at your property. It's not done. The property clearly is under construction. It looked more done than unfinished. The pool looked nice. If it was filled, it'd probably look even better. She did reveal that it's about to be listed in 10 days. A lot can happen in 10 days with a property, and a lot cannot happen in 10 days. However, I'm not concerned about it when it comes to... They're trying to make it seem as if, oh my gosh, we should be concerned about Angela and then one of her 5 properties right now for $3 million. Again, this is not her house. This is not a Sheree and Kenya moment where this is their main house. This is one of her 5 properties that are worth $3 million. I'm like, are we trying to make that a thing? Like, what are y'all properties right now? And I know y'all got properties. Exactly. Brandy says it was an investment property. Sage says that Kelli came off unlikable in this scene. Came off like a hater. She was talking about, like, the ceilings are not that large. Mind you, when I looked at it, because remember, Kelly's short, but then when I looked at Angela, I forgot how tall she is, but she's a fairly tall woman. I was like, it's not that low of ceilings. I get it. If you want to be grand, she wants to come in, again, giving off this sort of like pseudo-rich vibe. Like, oh, the ceilings weren't that big and blah, blah, blah. Girl, this home looks better than the townhouse you're living in now. And I get it. You came from a 7,000 square foot home. But we're not seeing that. We're seeing where you are now. This place looks far better than where you are now, the townhouse. Angela was like, girl, I know you got 3 walls. I can give you 4 here. Okay? But anyway, so at this meeting, they do talk about the amount of times they mentioned Wendy Williams. I'm almost tired of Angela talking about this Charles and Wendy Williams story where she told Wendy Williams, it's just a baby. But she said this in interviews, but now it's playing out on the show in regards to the side baby rumors. So she brings that up to Kelli. Because remember, Kelli had apparently a lot more to say than what we actually saw. Because I believe it was in the after show where Angela talks about, like, I don't want you to end up like me. In regards to what happened with her and Mark, Kelli and Mark, and she doesn't want it to be a Charles. And I have my concerns though, because I've seen the preview for next week's episode, Angela, and although I've equated that Charles is just a cranky, Todd father, I don't know. I have concerns. If you guys have seen the first 7 minutes of next week's episode, I really have concerns. The production asked him, "So, do you love Angela?" At no particular point did we get an answer. The body language was quite telling. Angela, I don't know if you guys just agreed to come on this show so that you could divorce him quietly and have your own stream of income. But, I mean, you already do with the real estate stuff. I don't know. Or you're just blindly following, it's just a bait. I don't know. But she does explain in this scene that Charles, that it wasn't Charles that she was talking about when she had that conversation with Wendy Williams. Again, we've covered this in separate videos. I don't want to dwell on it. She says it wasn't Charles that had the side baby on her. It was her first boyfriend, but she was the side. I mean, at least she admits it. A lot of these chicks on this show are not going to admit it. She was like, she admitted this in the after show, I believe. I watched both. I believe it was in the after show. She explains it more in regards to, it was the after show where she says she didn't know that she was the side chick and that he had a whole other relationship. And this is the guy that she lost her virginity to, Angela. She said this on the after show. I'm giving y'all all the tea. Thank you so much, Lika. She says, I'm late, but happy birthday, Kempire. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So she says in the after show that this is the guy that she lost her virginity to. This is her daughter's father. And the daughter has, I guess, a half brother or half sibling that is the same age as her. So she said it was her first boyfriend that did this to her, not Charles, and that Wendy Williams put some stank on it when she went on her daytime talk show, which I'm not shocked at. Wendy has been known to do stuff like that. But maybe Wendy in the moment really thought that she was referring to Charles. I'm just shocked that when that happened, and maybe she did, and it just didn't make a lot of noise because Angela really wasn't a name at the particular point, but I'm surprised that no one released any information back then when Wendy said that on her daytime talk show. But it seems like none of that stuff bothers Charles, which is also concerning. And there were rumors that they brought up at the Bailey Q in regards to Charles having other women here in New York. But okay. Exactly. Toya says she still forgave him and stayed. I need her to clarify that in regards to the baby's father. Did she leave once she found out that she was the other woman that he had another baby on? She didn't specify. But that's a good question to ask Andy during the reunion. She does admit, though, that because of the Madison Square Garden stuff, remember she also revealed that her and Charles separated when they first got married because of the Madison Square Garden stuff. For those that don't remember, he was dragged out of Madison Square Garden, embarrassed, a place that he is a legend, and he has not been back since, okay? She does admit, though, that there has been infidelity. She says, I'm not trying to make excuses for him, and she talks and elaborates on this more in the after show, but he started having these old flings hitting him up, saying, am I still the man? Because she's making sense. Again, no excuse. However, it makes sense that he wanted to fill his ego up with these other women. Like, I'm still the man. And she says that she didn't want to make excuses for him in regards to that. But in those early years, this is part of the reason why they separated. He was doing all that stuff. And she says they weren't separated for long. But wait till y'all see next week's episode, though, y'all. Janelle says, I like Charles. He just stays out of the women's business. Wait, Janelle, did you see next week's episode? I don't know. I don't know about Charles in this relationship with Angela. But yeah, she says she admits it. That's one thing people are loving about Angela. She's been very transparent in comparison to some other people on this show. She admits, not only did my first kid's father cheat on me and have a baby on me, Charles also cheated on me in the early parts of our marriage. She's putting it all out there. Foxy says, you cheat on me, I'm out. Same. However, cheating is not necessarily a deal breaker for everyone. Look at Wendy Williams. That's a perfect example. The deal breaker for Wendy was the kid. She knew Kelvin was he was with Sharina for years, and Wendy knew about it. But when he had the kid is when Wendy said, nope, I'm done. Couldn't be me. But again, everyone, different circumstances. I don't know. It'd be hard for me to move on. Like, I think I would always think and never trust you again. Just a heads up. Okay. So Amara says, same, I'm out. I don't think I'm built for that because I will always think that you are cheating. I don't think I would be able to get over that. But again, as you get older, I guess maybe things change. I don't know. But she's also the same woman that told Wendy Williams, it's just a baby. Just a baby? What?
What is this, honey?
Mia Moore says the kid is a receipt. I can't. Yeah. How old is little Journey now? Wendy Williams' husband's baby with the other woman. Exactly. Ashley says you become paranoid. All right, let me move on. Again, TikTok, keep tapping your screens. Thank you so much. We have 200 of you watching there. But we have, how many of you watch? We have almost 3,000 of you watching on YouTube. Keep liking the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me see how you got. Okay, I thought the ratings were doing bad. I mean, it's not bad. So 48% of you are rating this week's episode between a 4 and a 6, which isn't terrible. But I just thought this week was doing better. I actually have to say this week's episode I enjoyed more than the last 9 episodes of Atlanta. All right. So this scene with Britt and her husband. Hold on. I haven't removed it yet. So I'm just going to tell you what happened because a lot of you tell me that you don't watch the episode, you only watch my recaps. I appreciate that. So I'm just going to share with you what happens in the scene. So Britt reminds her husband, my mom is going to be moving in here soon. And, and Mike and I like to walk around with no clothes on. And that's going to have to change once my mother moves into the house. Okay. All right. Then she talks about the issues that she's having with Angela and what was said. So they replay what Angela said about the stretch marks around the mouth and Angela calling Britt, "You're a whore." All of that, okay? And Mike is just like a screw face. Like, she's the one who started it. I'm like, oh my God. I don't want to put my face that way because I don't want it to stay that way. So he's just like, I don't know, something. Courtney says, keep it. No. I'm getting it out of here, all right? The Set Me Free song, for those that don't know what I'm referring to. So they talk about that whole situation, and then she's like, and we talked about how no one even knows that you're married to Charles. Girl. Here's the thing, though. Sidebar on Watch What Happens. I'm glad I watch what happens live because, normally I don't. I think Shamea spilled something that's a part of Britt's storyline for the season because Andy tried to downplay it. Did you guys notice when Shamea says, in regards to Britt and Mike, like, are they married? And then Andy was like, did you guys notice that? I think that's going to be a part of her storyline, that there's something comes out that Britt and Mike might not be legally married. And then Shamea was quick, though, with trying to clean it up, though. She was like, well, she's still wearing the one ring and blah, 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 blah. So she agrees with Kenya and us that's not something common that we see someone just wearing an engagement ring. Something about Mike and Britt's relationship is something's off to me. Yeah, especially, and if you're a person, and I get it's your mama, I love you. I get that. But if you're people that like to walk around naked, are you really having your mama move in? Because now you can't do that at all. And this is your comfort zone. So I'm feeling like this is just a storyline. I that's the vibe that I'm getting. Right? Look, right? Exactly. Sassy says, don't Kelli have lawsuits for unpaid rent on a business? Girl, move on. Yeah. Okay. So that's what happened. So the other thing that happens in the scene with Britt and her husband, Mike says to her, like, oh, I'm going to be meeting up with Cher, her sister. And he's like, aren't you proud of me? I did that on my own. It's giving force. It's giving scene. I don't care. Jazz says that they feel like siblings. Do they? do they feel like siblings? I don't know what they feel like. I don't know if I would say siblings. They feel like, yeah. Okay. I don't know. Allison says, not pimp vibes. Lord, I don't know. Oh, so wait. Lovely D says she's there to pay 1/3 of the mortgage. Here's the thing, and I said this every week, and there are some Brit fans, the 1 and 2 of you. Y'all think I hate Brit. I don't know Brit to hate Brit. I am basing this, I don't care about the whole Kenya of it all, the team tour. I don't care about any of that. if Britt was bringing something that was funny, and there are moments where I've said, oh, Britt, that was a good line. But for the most part, I find her stuff uninteresting. I find her uninteresting. Of the newbies, she's not interesting to me. She's the least interesting to me. But okay, we'll move on. All right. Speaking of interesting, Angela invites Porsha over to one of her properties, and she says, I'm not going to invite Porsha over to my house, especially after she said that she would screw my husband. I agree, Angela. Come on. That was... Wait, I agree. That is grown woman-ish. Angela's like, I am not inviting Porsha to my... You see how Porsha showed up too, right? With the bodysuit. I am not inviting Porsha to my house after you just says I should sleep with Charles. I don't blame you, okay? Porsha says that she wants to be friends with Angela. She likes Angela, and she also wants to help Angela, not just have Drew as one of her friends. And honestly, at this particular point, Drew is the only friend to Angela. However, I don't feel like Drew is supporting Angela the same way that Angela's supporting Drew in a lot of ways. So Angela says that Porsha, because they play tennis and it's a tie, and then she says, I love that she's able to laugh at herself. Angela says that Porsha didn't know that Big Bird could play tennis. Mind you, y'all talking about Angela being tall. Angela and Porsha are not that difference in height. I saw them standing next to each other. I was like, Porsha, you're almost as tall as Angela. She might be like an inch or two taller than you. But okay. And even Angela owns, she doesn't care. She owns her being tall or having a big foot. And you production, and you are shady for zooming in on her feet when she walked into her property in that other scene. I was like, why are they zooming into her foot? I mean, she don't got ugly feet, though. She might got big feet, but she ain't got ugly feet. Go ahead, Angela. Okay. All right. So Angela talks about her daughter. And here's the thing where I think there might be an issue with Angela and her daughter and why her daughter did not tell her mom that she got married. I did not realize, and maybe I missed something during the episode. Maybe you all had the epiphany that I did. I did not realize that her daughter married a woman. Because Angela said the woman she married is a very lovely girl. And I said, oh, wait a minute. And I said, I wonder if Angela's daughter didn't tell her mom and the family that she got married because she was concerned about how they would feel about her being with another woman. I'm asking the question. I'm not saying anything, but I'm wondering if that's part of the reason why her daughter didn't say something. I'm asking a question. I guess we shall see. Andy asked that question at the reunion. I'm sure he'll be asking you guys for the questions on Twitter. What exactly happened? Was she concerned about how you would feel about her being with a woman or marrying a woman? And look, some people might say, well, she knew about the relationship, but some people, very much like when you marry, like a black and a white person are marrying, it's okay until you say, oh, we're getting married. It's okay that you're white, or it's okay that you're black, or it's okay that you're, a particular religion, or it's okay that you're gay, until like, oh, we're getting married. And it's like, wait a minute, like, married? No, we can't do that. We can't do that. Living the high, she mentioned it in their first scene. I can't remember, but I'm glad you pointed out. But again, does it change the fact that it's marriage versus just, she's just going through a phase? Who knows? Who knows? Oh, wait. Shanna says this that wasn't disclosed till this episode. I don't know. At least, again, if it was mentioned in earlier episodes, it didn't stand out to a lot of us. But again, I also think of the element that maybe it's more so about marriage than about the whole LGBTQ of it all. All right, moving on. Let me move on. So this is where it gets interesting in regards to this conversation, okay? So they sit down after playing their game. They sit down, Porsha and Angela, and they talked about her daughter of it all, but then they talk about the Drew of it all. And Porsha reveals that she met up with Ralph. And Angela's like, this is why I'm glad I invited Porsha to this house and not my house that I live in. Because Porsha is messy. All right? You're right. You're right, Angela. Stick with your good sense. So Porsha reveals that she met up with Ralph, all right? And she claims that Drew was trying to sleep with Dennis. And then we get this really funny moment in the confessional that I know Drew, this is what Angela says, I know Drew wasn't doing something strange for some change. And then she's not booty for beats.
Lies! The lie!
Not booty for beats. Okay, Angela. Okay, every week I'm falling a little bit more in love with you. I said, not booty for beats. I've heard, do something strange for a little change, but booty for beats? Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Una. Una says, happy birthday, Kempire. May God's grace, favor, and blessings always be your portion. Oh, I love that. Thank you. And shout out to the replay crew. I know you guys in the replay crew be sending me a lot of birthday wishes, so I want to say thank you in advance. So shout out to the replay crew. Be sure to let us know your thoughts on this week's episode as well of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Booty for beats. I was like, Angela, go put it on a t-shirt. She says, not Drew doing booty for beats. Do you guys believe that, though? Do you believe that that's what Drew was doing? And then Drew in the after show, Drew says his physique is not even my type. And these damn shady producers show no body shaming. But these producers, I'm just bringing up what the producers did. They show Dennis in the studio, and Dennis has like this tight sweater on. And Dennis is small, but he got like a belly. And you see what Ralph looks like without a shirt on. And I was like, well, and Drew's like, he is not even my type. And look, too, when you look at, it's not even just about the body, but look at Dennis's face. Dennis is a little, I'm sorry, damn, Dennis, you getting all the strays, but I'm just gonna be honest. Dennis is a little funny looking. It's a little funny looking. Come on, I'm just want to. So in the after show, Drew thinks it's ridiculous that they think that she tried to sleep with Dennis for some beats. Okay, give Dennis some booty for beats. All right. She's like, his physique is not even my type. All right. Then Porsha brings up what Shamea told her about the comment that Drew, and she's like, and Drew mentioned my daughter, talking about she's going to pay for the college fund. And Andrew's like, I was there, and she didn't say it like that. She was like jokingly saying that. But here's why I don't believe the Shamea and Porsha of it all. The fact that Porsha already believed Angela over her bestie, and some people might say, well, this is what Shamea is talking about, and this is why Shamea is upset. But it was in that moment, the way that Porsha reacted so quickly, like, well, that's not the way that Shamea said it to me. Like, she immediately believed Angela. She's like, well, that's not the way that Shamea said it to me. And literally, remember in that scene with Ralph and Porsha and Shamea, she was like, well, she did say it jokingly. Something's off. Something's off. Go back and watch that scene for me, y'all. Because I'm glad I was paying attention, because I was like, I did a lot of rewind. I was like, wait a minute. She immediately believed Angela in that moment. I was like, so what's that, the Timu Jermaine Dupri? Oh, Dennis. Oh, all right. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this is interesting reaction from Porsha to immediately believe Angela. She was like, well, that's not the way that Shamea said it to me. Almost like, not in a way where she's believing Shamea. It was like, well, the way that Shamea brought it to me. I was like, wait a minute. Okay. Okay. So Angela says that's not the way that she said it. She didn't mean it in a bad way. Angela also says that Shamea, she had a conversation with Shamea after that studio. When they went to the studio, Shamea and Drew and Angela went out for dinner. And apparently some pinky promises were made. They didn't mention that in the episode, but they mentioned it in the after show. And Shamea talks about that. She's like, I never made any pinky promise. Like that sounds, everybody knew about the whole wedding situation of it all. Everyone knew about that. So I don't know, why Angela is saying these things. I believe Angela. Of all the liars on this cast, I believe Angela. Who do you believe, Angela or Shamea? I feel like Shamea thought that she could open up to these two. Mind you, this was the three Tauruses going out together. I just realized that. That was Drew, Angela, and Shamea. All three Tauruses. All right? I feel like Shamea thought this was a safe space, and I believe Shamea opened up to them. Because it's not just Angela saying this. If it was just one person, it was two other people. And both Drew and Angela are saying, well, no, she told us to have a pinky promise on this. And Angela was like, I had my fingers crossed behind my back. Look, I'm just getting to know you. Come on, his introverted wife, he says. So if Dennis is a team move, Jermaine Dupri, who is Janet? Not Porsha. Well, they're no longer together, Janet and Jermaine Dupri. So there's no need to compare. Okay. All right. So they talk about, Angela brings up the conversation that she had with Shamea to Porsha. And she says that Shamea feels like, that people treat her as a lapdog, that the friendship feels lopsided. In the after show, Shamea says, I never used those words. And have I admitted I was hurt by her missing my wedding? Yes. And apparently, remember Porsha said that she attended the wedding in Atlanta? Apparently that wasn't a wedding. That was the dowry, where you get the dowry for the bride price. So it was like a ceremony. It wasn't the wedding. The wedding was in Kenya. Here's the thing. The conversation about that wedding has, again, if you watch those old seasons, again, I never understood how Shamea and Porsha got over it. But fine, they got over it. They're friends. You like it, I love it. Okay? But the fact that in this week's episode, Porsha still can't find the truth, no matter how hard she tries, the story changed like 3 times in that one scene. So what was it? You were not talking. You couldn't. You were sick. You couldn't fit in that particular seat. I didn't understand. All right. Okay. So Angela brings up Shamea and why Shamea has not said these things to Porsha, and Shamea says that she's afraid to bring them up to Porsha, and when she talks about. Shamea says that she doesn't want to be seen as Porsha's lapdog. Porsha immediately pulls up her fan to hide her tears. I'm going to put tears in quotes because I didn't see one. And I felt like that was performative. Look, I don't know how did everyone else feel about it, but I'm going to tell you how I felt about it. I was like, Porsha, your reaction feels a little over the top for someone, for Shamea saying that she feels like she's your lapdog. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that scene for Porsha. I feel like Porsha was, Ree on TikTok says she was laughing under that fan. It felt performative. And again, leads me to my investigation that this Shamea and Porsha beef is orchestrated. That reaction was off to me. Because why? I mean, again, she's a Cancer. Cancers can be emotional. However, I was like, why would you have that reaction? And again, we're watching an edited scene. More could have been said. Maybe it was something else that was said that made her react that way. We didn't see a tear, though. All we hear is the whimpering when she gets into the car. Myra says it was performative. All right, so I thought I was the only one. That's the vibe that I got. I was just like, that reaction seems a little interesting and odd to me. DA says Angela's too messy. Okay, we have to call a thing a thing. Angela has been messy. Angela has been doing production's dirty work since the episode she invited Drew, okay? And her bringing this news, I said this on Twitter. Hey, Twitter. I said on Twitter, I said, I feel as if Angela is the new bone collector. Kelli is a bone collector, too. She's a mini bone collector. Because what she did in that last scene, she was bone collecting, too. Angela is definitely a bone collector. In real life, would I like this type of behavior? Hell no. But on a reality show, you have to move things along. You got to get the story going. I get it. I don't hold it against Angela. But in real life, I'm like, you're so damn messy. Get away from me with this messiness. Okay? Get away from me with this in real life. But for reality television, I'm like, I get it. I get it. All right. For everyone that keeps asking about my skincare regime, I have it for you. Our friends over at Butter, I've been trying out their new products as well. Their body soap, their body lotion, their lip balm, all of that. You can get 10% off with our discount code. Shout out to Butter for sponsoring today's live show. TikTok, check out my TikTok shop so you guys can see the Butter products there as well. All right. Again, more information on Butter will be available in the description. Welcome back to the Kempire channel. Where do I want to go from here? All right. So we had that scene with Angela and Porsha. Porsha leaves emotional. Okay. Very emotional. It's something suspect about that. If this is a friend of a long time, I'm going to my friend off camera. Girl, we're going to figure this out because we're not going to let these cameras and this cast or these women ruin our friendship. But okay. I did see on Watch What Happens Live that basically Shamea is finally saying what people have been saying. And she basically for Shamea, the door is closed when it comes to a friendship with Porsha. And she's saying it's in Porsha's ability to change where they are. Again, I'm predicting at the reunion, we're going to see a very emotional moment between Shamea and Porsha. And we're going to be like, applause, Oscar. And then y'all gonna call me Miss Cleo. Okay, call me now. All right, Drew at home with her kids. All right, so Drew, okay. They still can't tell the kids that they're divorcing because of the court order. All right, because they're concerned on how the divorce announcement is going to hurt the kids. But their behavior, them being separated, him living in the basement, the kids know. But okay, fine. I'm never going to tell a parent on how they should tell or parent their children, okay? Especially when it comes to a court order, all right? So Drew has a meeting with her once couples counselor, now life coach, Dr. Ken. I already told y'all, if y'all go back and watch my recaps of Real Housewives of Atlanta, I've talked about Dr. Ken, girl. No. Yes, I did get, DA says, did you get your water? Yes, I took that commercial break and I said, let me get my water. It's getting warmer here in New York City. Stay hydrated, okay? All right. So Drew has that conversation. This was another nothing burger scene, but fine, okay? So Drew talks with the life coach and Dr. Ken, and she brings up what Angela told her about Shamea and Porsha meeting up with Ralph, okay? And the whole conversation about her trying to sleep with Dennis instead of paying him. Okay, them just rehashing it. That's what that scene was, basically. And she ends her conversation with Dr. Ken. She's like, oh, I feel better. That was a scene so that Drew could have a scene. What I'm getting from Drew this season is that she's desperate to film and she needs to make these moments. Why she wanted to film with Dennis. Now we're starting to see, next week we're seeing that she filmed with her mom. I'm glad. Finally, we're getting her personal stuff. Her filming with Ralph. I don't know if I 100% believe what's happening between Ralph and Drew. I believe Ralph is trash, and I believe that they're divorcing. But remember, they're still filming together. He's getting a confessional. Their divorce is not as bad as they're making it out to be. Also, I don't know if you guys saw the music video for her song, You Must Be Delulu. I love that song. It's another good song on her album. And she uses like these cartoon characters, but she uses Ralph's likeness in it. And I said, things between you and Ralph could not be that bad that you're still... Remember, in the trailer, we see that they talk about that he still owns Drew Sadora LLC. I said, things between you and Ralph cannot be that bad if you're putting him in a music video, literally like his likeness, because we already know he would be petty. You're using his likeness in a music video. He's going to sue you. then I said to myself, oh no, things between her, and remember Porsha said this too in one of her YouTube videos, that she believes that was all a setup. The dentist storyline with the Ralph and all, she doesn't believe any of it. And I'm thinking to myself, after I saw that music video over the weekend, I was like, Drew, this situation with Ralph, and even in the after show, because Angela was talking about the rough period in her marriage in the early years with Charles, and she's like, but we got through it. And then she almost made it seem like Drew was hopeful that maybe she could get through it with Ralph. But then Cynthia asked her, wait, are you in love? Are you in love with Ralph? And she's like, I love him. He's, the father of my children, blah, blah, but I'm not in love with him. Look, okay, Drew. Exactly, but Julian says he's the type to take legal action. And she knows that too. If we know that about Ralph, she knows that too. So the fact that she still did it says to me, they're not in a bad place. Okay? Oh, thank you so much. Kel says the music video made me think about a setup too. I just love the fact that this is where I love my job. I get to bring my conspiracy theories to you guys, and you conspirize with me too. That's not a word, but we're going to make it a word today. But let's just says he owns 60%. So he's making money off that music video. Keisha says that Ralph already talked about the video. When? Quinny says that, Kempire, do you think it's possible that Drew doesn't know how to let go and move forward? Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Gigi says that Ralph is a creep and an idiot. Damn. And even if Ralph talked about that music video, what did Ralph say? Because this was just released. Did he just talk about it, or did he talk about it before? Oh, yeah. Thanks, Ruth. Conspire. Conspirizing. Here we go, making up words. Let me say thank you because we had quite a few super chats. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats. Don't forget, you can easily support the channel by liking the video, or if you're watching on TikTok, keep tapping your screens, okay? All right. Amy, thank you so much for the super chat. Amy says, thank you for my Mother's Day message. You did your job. Thank you so much, Amy. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Shout out to everyone that requested me on Cameo I've been busy with the Cameo. Oh my God. Y'all had me busy. There was also a discount. The discount, let me remind you, the discount ends today. They extended the Mother's Day discount. It ends today. So if you want a Mother's Day message, a birthday message, or just a message in general, people have been asking me to just give them an uplifting message. And I'm like, get up. No, blame. But it's a very personal message. So book me on Cameo today. There is a Mother's Day discount available right now. More information will be available in the description. Kendra, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Kendra says, happy birthday. I wish you all the blessings you deserve. Your videos bring a lot of joy to us viewers. I know it's retired, but you can play the Dr. G sound at the end of the live. All right. Well, Kendra, you said a $50 super chat. Will do. Remind me, because I might forget, because, I just celebrated a birthday. Tasha, thank you so much for the super chat. I still got my elephant brain, though. Okay. Tasha says, happy birthdays, Zempire. What's Zempire? Was that a typo? What's Zempire? Have yourself a Starbucks or a Dunkin' on me. Thank you so much, Tasha. I'll have both. I'll have a donut there and a coffee somewhere else, if I drink coffee. Tasman, thank you so much for the super chat. Tasman says, happy birthday, Kempire. Thank you for gracing us with your live today. Thank you. Because I could be out partying still. Nope. Edward, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Edward says, I think you also have an anniversary today, right, Edward? I agree 100% with you, Kempire. I like Drew, but she's sketchy when it comes to what she says and does. I think Shamea and Porsha did that talk to be messy. Yeah. Tesker, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Tesker says, happiest birthday, Kempire. Thank you for all the amazing content and good times. Still one of my favorites after a few years now. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tish, thank you so much for the super chat. Tish says, speaking as someone that has dated broke men and ended up in the hospital and almost evicted, not mad at making sure they date people with money. Well, I mean, Tish, when you put it that way, okay, And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. I think what's more important, I think you got to be, especially when we talk about our manifestations, you got to be specific with the universe. Don't just say that you want to date a man or woman with money. You need to be specific. You want to date someone that is smart with their money, that has gotten their money in legitimate ways, has a good mind, and is generous with that money. Because you could also end up with a cheap, broke motherfucker. Just say you got to be specific with the universe. So when I say I want a billionaire that has gotten it legitimately, that is a kind, giving person, that is generous not only with me, but with others and to charities. Okay? Just saying. Got to be specific. Let me add to that list. Okay? And I for those that are new here, I'm being facetious. I at least want a millionaire. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says, happy B-Day, my fellow Earth sign. Drew was definitely bumping pocketbooks with time. I love how you just mix that all in there. Thank you, Keith. Keith says, Drew was definitely bumping pocketbooks with Ty Young, but Ralph still hasn't said what he was doing in Tampa. She was just getting her lick back. No pun intended. Keith. I do believe that Drew and Ty Young had something going on. And look, as a gay man, I look at Ty Young, I'm like, yeah, it might go down with me and Ty Young. Ty Young has got a little bit, and she got a bag, according to Shamea. Narda, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support, and thank you for being a member as well. Nicole says, Shamea is going to F around and find out with Porsha. Porsha has nothing to lose. Look at how she's Bravo's pet. She will do anything for a check. Hashtag pimps up, hoes down. Damn. Lord. Serenity, thank you so much for the super chat. Serenity says, I'm sorry, I am not believing Angela because if it was just a baby, why did she leave the ex? Oh, well, maybe she didn't immediately. Maybe when she found out that that she was the other woman. Maybe that's when she left I don't know. She needs to clarify in regards to what happened there. But, I mean, anyone with that perspective says to me, and it says to your partner, Charles, what you would be willing to put up with. I'm going to let that billionaire know you have a baby on me, we're done. You cheat on me, we're done. Keisha, thank you so much for the super chat. Keisha says she believed that Phony Faye. She believed Phony Faye too. She's a bad friend. Oh, in regards to Porsha. Porsha believes Phaedra, but Porsha was trying to play innocent during those years with the whole Candy of it all. I don't believe that she believed Phaedra. I think she ran with that narrative, and everyone let Porsha get away with that, including Candy, in regards to it. Porsha was not innocent. Her and Phaedra both should have been knocked off that show for the period of time that they were off the show. That Phaedra was off the show. Did you guys notice when Andy Cohen talked about Phaedra? Because I found it funny when Shamea said, when they asked her the question about Phaedra bouncing around from show to show, and she was like, I wonder where she'll end up next. And Andy was like, no, she'll stay in Atlanta. Yes, that contract is secured. Rahina, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, wait, let me shimmy. Rahina says, happy birthday, Kempire. Sidebar, my best friend sent me a cameo of you for Mother's Day. She used my name, Nina. It was love. Wait a minute. So you got a couple of cameos from me. Hope you had a great birthday. All right, Rahina, Nina. I forgot about the Nina part. I didn't realize it was you. Okay. I love it. I feel like I get to know a lot of you in the community through Cameo too, because you guys tell me the story, or your friends and family tell me your story on watching the channel. So thank you to those of you that have sent that in. Austin, thank you so much for the super chat. Austin says, it's my birthday. Happy birthday, Austin. It's my birthday. You got a Leo moon? I'm going to send you a book you'll love. When are you checking your P.O. box? Well, I just checked it. Oh, someone sent me a birthday card. And I can't remember the name. But I got my birthday card. It was one of the first ones that I got. I wish I had it in front of me. I have it out. I have it displayed in my living quarters. But thank you so much. I will check it in the next week or two, or next couple of weeks. Or just let me know, Austin. Hit me up, DM me, and I'll it is a journey for me to go check it. It is in Staten Island. But it's all right. I'll go. Florima. Just dropping in to wish you a beautiful, blessed birthday. Love from Canada. Thank you so much, Flori. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for the gifts on TikTok as well. Nelly, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Nelly says, happy birthday, Kempire. In my Wendy Williams voice, you are a friend in my head. Be blessed. Thank you, Nelly. I appreciate that. All right. I have a couple more super chats, guys, and then we're going to get into the rest of this Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Keith, thank you so much for another shimmy, because Keith always sending super chats. Shimmy. I don't know. I'm shimmying more my butt than I'm shimmying my chest right now. All right. Oh, you wish you could see. Keith says, I don't know how Shamea hasn't been able to shine over the years because personality will always prevail. I didn't even know Shamea was a friend of until this season, to be honest. I can't even remember a confessional. And even that, everyone at the beginning of the season, because they saw her $9 million home, were like, oh my gosh, Shamea is the great, she's the glue. And you see how, since then, the glue ain't working. The glue ain't sticking. So, and I said on Twitter in regards to Shamea, oh my God, I wish I remember what I said exactly. It was in regards to, hold on, let me actually pull up what I said. Because it was interesting in regards to Shamea's role on the show. Hold on. Let me see. Of course, I can't find it. That's all right. Whatever. All right. Thank you, Keith, for the super chat. We appreciate it. It was just in regards to Shamea and why she never landed. Oh, it was what Porsha said in the episode in regards to her advocating for Shamea to get a peach. And she showed Shamea proof. Like, I told them, I gave them a list of people and you were on there. And Gerald never wanted to film. Gerald is not filming now. So what is the difference between before and now? Did he not want them in the house at all? Maybe that's what it is. But Gerald is still not filming. We've seen a clip of Gerald. We have not seen much of Gerald this season. And based on what I'm seeing of Shamea, I understand why the network and production were not that interested in making her full time. It wasn't just about her having a husband. There was a lot more. All right. J.I., thank you so much for the super chat. J.I. says, Shamea is a manipulator. J.I. always comes like that. I'm like, whoa. Shamea is a manipulator and gaslights when she's called out. She was talking ish about her friendship with Porsha and got caught. She's not innocent. I have to agree with J.I. here because I believe Angela and Drew. I believe that she was saying some stuff about Porsha. And rightfully so. You have your feelings and clearly you did not get over them if they were real feelings and not a storyline. And that, the plot thickens. Do you think that Shamea planted this story with Drew and Angela because she knew that she would run and Angela would run and take it back to Porsha to make it the storyline? Anton says, absolutely. Live chat, I can't see what y'all are saying right now because I'm reading the super chats. But now I'm starting to think. Do you think that's why? And that's why she's like, I pinky swear that you won't say something. Pinky, thank you, Olivia, for the gifts on TikTok. Do you think? Oh, just saying. Edward says, thank you so much for the super chat, Edward. Edward says, to me, Drew should have took a break from this show. She needs the money, allegedly. That's the only reason why I feel like she needs the money. This is a huge opportunity for Drew. Thank you so much, Megan, for the super sticker. We appreciate your support. Ariel, thank you so much for the super chat. Ariel says, happy birthday, Kemp. If it was a billionaire that cheated, would you still leave? I just told y'all that. Yes. Just because I'm going to be with a billionaire doesn't mean that I won't have my own money. Okay? I'm just saying, I'm not trying to, first of all, I believe in having an FU fund. So not only will I be making my own money, I'll be taking the money he gives me and putting it to the side in an FU fund, offshore account. Let me stop telling y'all my plans. Kidding. And I'm also not limiting my options. Like, you think I'm going to be like, oh my God, I met the love of my life, but he's not a billionaire. Oh my God, I can't be with him. No. Come on. But if he's broke and has bad money management, no. Kay Wright, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy birthday. Thanks for the Cameo Mother's Day messages to my twin and oldest sis, Ty. I did too. We also went to our first show and can't wait for the next. Kalila, thank you. I love seeing the faces. Now I'm like, oh yes, I remember. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the cameo. Sometimes when I do the cameos, it's sort of like, was that entertaining enough? Was that funny enough? Will they be happy with it? I just never know. But I just be myself. So I'm just like, take it or leave it. Happy birthday. Thank you, Sam, for the super chat. Sam says, happy birthday, Kempire. I think it's weird how so many of the housewives this season and last support Ralph. Drew is unreliable, but she's a mess to herself. No one else. Ralph is abusive and an opportunist. Say it again for the people in the back. And again, I met Drew and I liked her energy. I'm big on energy, but I also like the fact that no matter how hard, I've been so hard on Drew in our recaps over the years, she still was still able to smile and greet me and say, I understand, but can you be nicer in the future? No. I'm going to tell it like it is, Drew. But I like the fact that she understood that. All right? Would I trust her? No. No, I don't trust her at all. Okay. Pinky says, if my billionaire cheated, I may stay, and I wouldn't judge you. I mean, at least not to your face. Pinky. All right. Let me drop the call-in link before I recap the rest of this week's episode, because I've been talking for an hour and a half. Monday really takes me out. I'm so glad that Married to Medicine, although it's been renewed, I'm glad that we don't have to recap it. It's just a lot to do, 2 recaps. I'm glad that we have a break from it, because I don't think my voice could take it. All right. Hey, Layla. Layla is on Twitter watching. She says, happy birthday, Kempire. Thank you, Layla. Danielle's on Twitter watching. She said, I'm guilty. I asked the question. What question? Sorry, Twitter. I didn't see. Hey, Storm hit me up, said, hey, Dimples. Daphne is watching on says, good morning. What's going on, Daphne? I'm sorry, y'all, on Twitter. I had the screen closed. So I didn't see all the comments that were here on Twitter. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter. Don't forget, on Twitch, we are streaming in 4K. I'm streaming in 4K on YouTube as well, but the quality on Twitch, I hear, is top tier. Okay? All right. Let me drop the call-in link for our members first. So if you are a senior royal and royal court member, I'm going to drop the call link for you first. Team Kempire members, I will be dropping the call link for you guys in a bit, but these guys are higher tiers. Okay. It is what it is. This is not part of the membership, but it's become a part of the membership. Also, I cannot believe I've been talking for an hour and a half and I have not told you guys that the Kempire After Dark, the villain era, is here. And it's returning to New York City on Friday, September 12th. I completely forgot. I can't believe we haven't talked about it yet. So if you missed it, I announced over the weekend that the Kempire After Dark, the villain era, is officially coming back to New York City at the Green Room 42. The live stream option is available for those that are outside of New York City or outside or won't be in town that day. Because I believe Mama Allie, Foxy, y'all remind us how long. I believe you have like a week in order to use it. So for those of you that want to be a part of the show and can't be in person, I understand there is a live stream option for this show only. Okay? And shout out to those of you that are in New York City or the tri-state area. Go get your tickets today. We're going to fill it up. Bernice, this was because of Bernice at my other live show. She says, Kempire, you threatened us and said that you weren't going to do another live show in New York City. Can I get you your word? Because we all showed up and showed out. Well, y'all better show up and show out for this New York City show coming this fall. All right? All right. So it's going to be a very different or somewhat different show. So stay tuned for the Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era live show coming back to the Green Room 42 here in New York City. Go get your tickets today. More information will be available in the description. All right. Thank you guys so much for all of the birthday wishes. All right. Let me get back to the rest of this episode, but let me take a sip. Let's get to this Pampered by Porsha event. So Porsha hosts this event. Remember when Porsha had that meeting with her team. And she mentioned that she wanted to elevate Pampered by Porsha. I didn't even know that Pampered by Porsha was still here and still in business. Apparently the sheets are good, according to Drew. All right. So she's hosting this event. So I'm thinking at this event, we're going to see new things, not just the same sheets. But again, Porsha needs a storyline. Porsha needs to throw an event. So we don't see any new sheets. We do see the Pampered by Porsha pillow thingies, and I think that was just for decoration. I don't think those are... V, this is live. Hey, V. Or is this previously recorded? It should have been, right? I should have been partying and recovering. Nope. I'm here. So I was sort of like, are we launching something else? But one thing I have to give the women, shout out to Eric Robinson. He did the photo shoot for them. They look first, but who stood out to me the most was Angela. Angela looked phenomenal. And I love that. Look at her. She looked like Megan Thee Stallion. Look how she's just statuesque. All right. For those that are listening to the podcast version. So I guess they must have had notes in order to what color to wear, because Porsha had, and shout out to Londi, may she rest in peace. She was also, Porsha's cousin, who we saw on Porsha's Family of Lies. She's since passed away. I'm not sure if that's going to play out during this season, but we've seen her twice. This is our second time seeing her. And so they had these robes, these fluffy robes made for everyone. Everyone looks great. Look at Cynthia Bailey. Cynthia Bailey is the oldest of these women. Cynthia Bailey is almost 60 years old. She looks phenomenal. Body is T. Face is always T. But look at Angela. Even Drew. I like Drew's black. At first I was like, oh, everyone has color. But Drew's black was nice. All right. But was Drew right? Because Drew makes a comment when they start taking the pictures. She's just like, because we also found out that that Porsha terminated her contract with Drew. So Drew was just like, is this a Pamper by Porsha? We haven't signed off on any of this. Porsha looks good too, though. Look at Porsha in the white, like she's about to get married. Okay? But I have to say, they all look great. But my favorite, I have to say, has to be Angela. I like Porsha's white. Porsha's stomach. Look at Porsha's stomach. Porsha's stomach is flat. Okay? Give it up for Cynthia. I like that on her. I think they all look great. But was this a Pampered by Porsha sponsored? I know it's a sponsored event. Queen Day says free advertisement for Porsha. They didn't sign a release. Technically, they did for the show, but she uses it for her business. I mean, she would be smart in order to utilize them for it. I think they all looked phenomenal. Who was the guy that was serving the women when they came in? He had a beautiful smile. I didn't like the braids. The braids were kind of like, they weren't just like cornrows into the back. They were just sort of like wild. I don't like that. But his smile, beautiful teeth. I was like, okay. And then he was flirting with Britt. I was like, Mike is not going to like this scene. The way he was like, you want it double fisted? I'm like, what's happening right now? And I was just thinking about Mike and the whips and the pistols. And I was like, this ain't going to be good. All right. Anyway, so they all come in. They're all hanging out. They're catching up. Porsha says she invited Drew because it's a group event. She has to invite Drew. Or, I mean, she doesn't have to, but she knows, especially if they want their scene included. Okay. So you want all the housewives to be there. So she's like, I'm not going to argue with Drew anymore. And she's like, this is called growth. I'm like, okay, girl. So they end up taking these photos. Eric Robinson is there taking the photos for them. They look phenomenal. They really do. I had to give it up to each and every one. I think they all look good. I like the fact that everyone's in a different color and they all look good in their color. Okay. So they talk about that. Again, Drew expresses her concern in regards to, this is a Pampered by Porsha, sponsored photo shoot. Because she's like, my contract with her and Go Naked have been terminated. So Kelli, being the mini bone collector, pulls Shamea to the side and brings up her conversation with Drew and Angela and how Drew called her a lapdog. So they flash back. I kind of want to see that scene where Angela and Kelli and and Drew. That seemed like, because they kept on flashing back to that scene. So I was like, can y'all just give us that scene? Because that scene seemed like it was juicy. So she brings up the fact that Drew says that, she's just a lapdog. And Shamea's like, oh, here we go with the lapdog conversation again. Okay. But then she brings up what Angela and Porsha's conversation. And Shamea says that she's hurt that Porsha didn't bring it to her directly. And I have to agree with Shamea, because for Shamea, that's how she handles everything that people bring to her about Porsha. She goes to Porsha. And Shamea already is like bothered. So when they go in for Lauren's meditation and in the sound bath, Shamea's just like, everyone's laying down and Shamea's just like, I can't. She's already perturbed. So Kelli, after she ran and told the business, mind you, Kelli told Angela to mind her business. Now she run into Shamea telling the business that's not hers. And then she drags it along in the sound bath too. So she runs over to Shamea and she's just like, why are you not meditating? She's like, I don't want to mess up your meditation. But she's just like, I don't want to lay down. She said we didn't have to lay down if we didn't want to. And I'm just, she's bothered. And then Porsha, she comes up and she's like, shh. And I'm telling you, I don't know if I 100% believe the Porsha and Shamea drama. There's just so many little things. I'm just like, Even the way that they navigated this argument. So they do the little sound bath stuff. And then Lauren opens the table for them to have a conversation. All right. So Angela and Porsha have their conversation. Angela's like, I'm happy that we can move forward. I'm happy we had our conversation. Then Kelli initiates this conversation. And I was like, because mind you, they probably wouldn't have had the conversation. But Kelli initiates the conversation. She's like, we really like your friendship. And we just feel like the Shamea can't really be herself when you're around, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So she initiates that conversation. Kelli says that Shamea isn't able to shine because of her friendship with Porsha. Porsha says that it saddens her to hear how Shamea feels about her. That she's the bad friend and Shamea's the best friend. Okay? Shamea says, like, did I say that? I never said that. She says anything that she has said to the other women, she has said to Porsha. She also says that she feels like it's not reciprocated when people bring stuff about Porsha. And look, if I take it at face value, I have to agree with Shamea. Because I'm surprised that Porsha wouldn't go directly to Shamea. That's your best friend from grade school? I'm going to my best friend. F all these cameras, as she said in episode 1. F all these cameras. Let's have our conversation off camera before this becomes a thing. But this benefits Porsha becoming a thing. It also benefits Shamea. It benefits her to make this a thing. And I feel like Porsha's going to drag this out till the reunion. We see that next week they meet up to have a conversation. And Porsha ends up getting up and walking away. Look, I don't know if I believe this. I'm going to keep watching. Kay says Shamea is a lapdog. That whole Ralph sit down she did was because of Porsha. There was no reason for Shamea to go to lunch with Ralph other than wanting to get some dirt on Drew for Porsha. Point blank. Period. Okay, I agree. And she keeps even in the Watch What Happens Live. She's like, "Well, I did a podcast with Ralph, and he wanted help with his podcast." Girl, stop. This is why people call you the lapdog, because it clearly you thought the audience is stupid, Shamea. I don't think so. But anyway, so back to this heated conversation between Porsha and Shamea, and Porsha. She being passive aggressive in her response. Shamea is getting very upset with the way that Porsha's handling the conversation. All right. And then the conversation about the wedding comes up. Because I think Angela was one who brought up the wedding. And Shamea said that, everybody knew about the wedding and Porsha not going to the wedding. She was like, it was on this reality show. We all knew about the wedding. According to Angela, she didn't know about the whole wedding issue, okay? And Shamea says, yeah, it hurt me. But Porsha says, well, a couple months before, Shamea and I weren't talking. So Shamea's like, what? And when she was like, well, there was also the first seat. And then Shamea was like, well, I said I would buy you a ticket. And da-da. So again, I don't know about the whole Porsha and her telling the truth, because Porsha has an interesting relationship with the truth. And I feel as if Porsha gave us 3 different reasons as to why she didn't attend Shamea's wedding. And I just don't understand how we are in 2025 and this happened almost 10 years ago. How did you guys get over it then? And become friends then? Did Shamea just and this is very possible too, Shamea just push it to the side, but she never really got over it. I wouldn't be surprised that could be the truth too. Let's say this is a real fight. I could understand where Shamea is still upset about it, but she's moved past it. But to hear in 2025, Portia's still making these other excuses that doesn't seem to be consistent with what she originally said. And when you go back to when they discussed this how many seasons ago, it was like, Porsha, really? Like this doesn't make any sense. And again, I don't know how they were able to navigate through that and still be friends to this day, because I don't think I could have. But maybe she'll explain this better. And how do you navigate through that? It's Steph says, Kempire, I thought the same. Is this beef a storyline, particularly when Porsha never mentioned the conversation with Angela? Yeah, like they think we're stupid, but we're not stupid because a lot of y'all are paying attention, even more than I am. And I was like, something seems off here. No More Rain on TikTok says, did Kandi make it to the wedding? I'm pretty sure she did. Can someone confirm? That was never an issue with them. But again, Porsha has known Shamea way longer than Kandi and Shamea. But Shamea and Kandi are very close. They're best friends. Okay. All right. If you are a member of the channel, Team Kempire member, I'm going to drop the call link for you guys as well before I move on. So the episode ends with this heated exchange between Shamea and Porsha. And Portia's just like, I'm a piece of ish then. But passive aggressive, basically trying to make it seem like, oh, you're saying I'm a bad friend, so I'm the bad friend. I'm the bad friend. Okay. Makita says that, yes, Kandi is. I was pretty sure, but I can't remember everything from yesteryear. You know what I did start doing over the weekend? I started watching the reunions from like season 1 to now. I haven't watched all of them yet. I won't be watching the last 2 seasons, and those seasons were not great. So I've been trying to watch like the older season reunions just to kind of remind me of what's been going on with these women. But yeah. So that's how this week's episode ends between Shamea and Porsha. And as we saw for the preview for next week, it's going to be a continuation. So we shall see. Guys, if you had to rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? Let me see what the live chat is rating it. Excuse me. Let me go back here. Guys, we have over 3,000 of you watching. Keep liking the video. Let's get to 1,500 likes. I have dropped the call link for all members first. Live chat, I will give you, let's get to 1,250. 1,250 likes, and I will drop the call link for the live chat. If not, it's okay. I've already been talking for an hour and 45 minutes. I could go and just take the members. But keep liking the video if you haven't already. Easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. And again, a reminder, don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show we just announced is returning to New York City on Friday, September 12th. Live stream tickets are also available, and I am working on our Pride merch for the merch store, so be sure to check out the merch store. I saw some of you were buying some stuff over the weekend. We got some Juneteenth stuff that are available right now, so go check that out. And they've improved shipping with our friends over at the merch store, so there's some other options for you guys to get your things a lot quicker. houseofkempire.com or thekempire.com and click the shop button. All right. Let me see. It's Steph says, Porsha gave a bogus reason for not attending the wedding. Reasons. Because remember, like, I haven't pinpointed just one. She's given us multiple reasons. Porsha gave a bogus reason for not attending the wedding. Shamea suppressed her feelings. Very possible. But again, now it's coming back up, and now Shamea said on Watch What Happens Live, she's done. And for her, it's going to take Porsha coming to her. And I think that's going to happen at the reunion. We shall see. We shall see. Let me see. His introverted wifey. Hey. Porsha is not Shamea's friend, but Shamea is Porsha's friend. And that is not a friendship I want. Ever. Have I been in that situation? Yes. Who else has been in that situation where you are the friend, but the other person has not been the friend to you? Raise your hand. Thank you, Honeybee, for all the roses. Thank you guys on TikTok for the gifts. All right. Rio on TikTok says, Nene said that Porsha was a bad friend. Heather says that, hey, Kempire, they just announced BravoCon 2025. You going? If they're sending me a ticket, I'll go. No promises that I'm going this year, to be honest with you. And it's in November. Yeah, no promises. Just saying. But if they send me a ticket, I'll go. Okay. So stay tuned. I don't know yet. I'm not paying a lot of money to go to BravoCon. I would love to see all you guys, but see me on tour. Come on. See me on tour. Jazz, thank you so much for the birthday message. Jazz also said, hold on. Agree. I feel the beef between Porsha and Shamea. I feel like it's 100% fake. The reunion will tell us if it's the truth or not. Yeah. I'm glad I mentioned to you guys because I was like, something about this is not feeling authentic. Look, Queen T, thank you so much for the super chat. Queen T says, Sheets by a Jezebel. Ironic. Okay. J.I. says, Shamea, I need to pre-read your super chat, J.I. sometimes. Shamea had 10 years to bring up her issues with Porsha about it, the wedding and friendship. She waited until she got her peach to bring it up on camera. Shamea is a fraud. Or it's a plot that she planned with Porsha. See, but J.I., valid point. J.I. says Shamea had 10 years to bring up her issues with Porsha about the wedding and friendship. She waited until she got her peach to bring it up on camera. Shamea is a fraud. I think her being the lapdog or being a friend to Porsha is making the audience turn on her. Even if this issue with Porsha is not real or fake. Her alliance with Porsha this season is the reason why, again, I've said this before, I feel as if this is the reason why she never became a full-time housewife. Not because Porsha told production not to make her a full-time housewife. I think the vibe that they got from Shamea wasn't full-time. Even the vibe that we're getting now from Shamea, y'all can be impressed by a $9 million house, but that does not make a reality TV star. That does not make a real housewife. In my humble opinion. Shameka, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Again, guys, keep liking the video. It's easy. It's free. And don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast where you'll hear a audio version of our live recast, but also special episodes like the one that we just dropped. And don't forget to join Club Kempire so you can get special exclusive content on our Apple podcasts. All right. There is a free 3-day trial. All right. Let me say thank you. V, thank you so much for the super chat. V says, Kempire, I pray you enjoyed your birthday. If the beef between Porsha and Shamea is real, Porsha will definitely have regrets on how she treated Shamea. Real friends are hard to come by. Ain't that the truth, V? Thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. And thank you so much for the birthday wishes. All right. For those that are just joining us, yes, we are still celebrating my birthday, even though it was just yesterday. It was a Sunday. It was Mother's Day. Come on. Let me have my moment. Let me have my day. Can today be my day? Come on. Thank you all for the birthday gifts, the wishes. I appreciate all of it. And I'll take all of it. Yes. All right. Let me move on. All right, callers, you get 30 seconds. Members, you get 30 seconds to share your thoughts on this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I do want to remind you guys as well, The opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors, and they agree not to use profanity or derogatory comments and to respect the timer so that we're able to get to everyone because the members line already is full. Like all the members that are here, the room is full. Some members can't get in. So members, once you speak your opinion, drop out so other people can call in. All right. Brooklyn Star has been waiting patiently behind the scenes. Brooklyn Star, what did you want to share?
Happy birthday, Kempire. How are you?
Thank you. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to say, stop showing me Britt and her family. I don't care. I don't want them. I'm not invested. I think Angela deserves a pay increase because she is doing what needs to be done. I think Porsha and Shamea are the same feather on the same wing of the same bird. They are sneaky, and one is more sneakier and meaner than the other. I don't like the way they're playing loose and fast with Drew Sidor's reputation. Keeps throwing that she would sleeping with Dennis. Nobody believes it, okay? I don't see it for Drew, but Drew was that girl at one point. She can do way better than Dennis, okay? And she keeps making accusations that it's not moving. Nobody believes it, but that's all.
Thanks, Brooklyn Star. I have to agree. That was a thought that I had too. I was like, yeah. The way that Porsha has been sort of insinuating that Drew would sleep with a producer for money, I was like, that is kind of, like, I get it, it's Housewives, but where's the line? Where is the line? So I'm glad that Brooklyn Star brought it up because I was like, the way that they're talking about Drew, it's defamatory. I'm not saying that she should sue, but it's defamatory. All right. Miss Bernice is backstage. We're going to bring Miss Bernice up next. Miss Bernice, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Y'all don't find it amusing that Porsha is doing to Drew what Phaedra did to Candy?
Oh.
She learned from the best. Come on now. Really? Why are y'all so surprised? She's a gutter snipe. That's what she do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. She learned from her mama. I don't need to go any further than that.
You gonna drop the mic on that? Oh, okay. Damn. All right.
Gutter snipe, no gutter snipe. So she gonna play all innocent. Oh, I didn't say that. Did I say that? Yes, you did.
Wow. Okay. Thanks, Miss Bernice.
Enjoy your birthday. Love you.
Thank you, Miss. I mean, it's not exactly the same thing, but I'm like, well, spreading rumors about someone. Well, all right. Cynthia's backstage. We're going to bring Cynthia up next. Cynthia, what did you want to share?
Happy birthday, Kempire.
Thank you.
Kempire, I'm going to make this real short. I don't think Shamea and Porsha's beef is fake. I think it's real. And the one person that probably put an end to their friendship is Phaedra. Remember, Phaedra's back.
Oh.
Phaedra's back.
Mm-hmm.
And I also believe that Shamea was a better friend to Porsha. And I believe that Shamea probably got advice from Candy to leave Porsha alone.
Oh. But Candy still rocks out with Porsha.
Not like that.
They hanging out, twerking and all this stuff together. That's why people look at Candy like, Candy, really?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
But Phaedra and Shamea, they don't have it for each other.
Okay.
Kempire, one request for your young fan for her birthday. Can you put TJ's woo on your soundboard?
I keep forgetting to do that. Yes, I do need to do that. I will.
Have a good one, Kempire.
Thanks, Cynthia. Bye. All right, Keith's backstage. We're going to bring Keith up next. Keith, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So first of all, I just want to say I'm actually happy that Angela didn't make her daughter being a lesbian a huge surprise moment. Because I feel like if we're trying to normalize what's already happening in society, then we shouldn't have to worry about someone outing or making it a huge moment that someone is lesbian or gay. So I like that she just slid that in the conversation to have us all thinking. But in addition to that, I am not surprised that Porsha and Shamea have been friends this long. Because I remember back at the reunion, Phaedra was accusing Shamea of sleeping with married men too.
Yes.
So, those that what's the phrase called? Birds of a feather flock together. So I ain't calling them chicken heads, but they definitely doing some chicken activities. That's about it.
Thanks, Kate. Bye. Not chicken activities. On Watch What Happens Live, Shamea did talk about Phaedra because she said she had her concerns when Phaedra came back, and especially with the way that they left things off. So I'm guessing Phaedra and Shamea never made peace since then. So their return to each other was on this show, but she says she came in with open arms. Okay, all right. All right, Judgy Justice is backstage. We're going to bring Judgy Justice up next. Judgy Justice, what's going on?
Hey, as I'll say this, for the Shamea and Phaedra thing, as a Taurus, we will beef forever because we the beef. We the whole cow. Secondly, I do agree that this is a real thing with Shamea and Porsha. I think they finally had it out and because they can no longer just be like, oh, we're pushing this aside. Now it's forefront. People are talking about it, tweeting about it. There's no way to get around it. And then I'm also I'm here for Angela being the leader of the Messy Queens, getting everything going, being the bone collector, plus a little bit of Nene with the shade and bringing all things together. It's just old school housewives. The only thing I would like is if they would stop talking about each other's body parts, because that's too elementary for me. Let's level up a little bit. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thanks. All right, we're going to get to some more calls. We got Elijah backstage. Hold on. Hey, Elijah, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, happy birthday.
Thank you.
So for this episode, I want to say that I'm enjoying the season so far. I feel like it's mid, it's definitely a little bit better than the ones that they before, obviously I'm not enjoying some people, you know what I mean? Such as Portia's lapdog Cha-Cha Britt, you know what I'm saying? I'm not enjoying that, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like Britt is really sucking up to her. And even there was a scene where she tells Britt to lower herself. And when she said that to her, I feel like that describes the way that their relationship is. She is sucking up to Porsha like she is her child. And so then, she's taking Shamea's place. And that I'm not enjoying. And I will keep my foot on Britt's neck because I really don't like her. I don't think she's good for this show. But other than that, I'm enjoying it. And Porsha and Shamea, I really don't know, man. It's sad to see it, but I think Shamea needs to cut ties. They need to give it up. And if it's fake, I'm going to be so pissed. But anyway.
Thanks, Elijah. Take care. That's the vibe I'm getting, but I could see the truth. I could see the possibility of this being a real beef between Porsha and Shamea, and Porsha allowing these women to come between her friendship, and that would me as a real friend would make me even more upset. The fact that you allowed these Johnny-come-latelys to come in between our friendship. All right, Angel's backstage. I'm going to bring Angel up next. Angel, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire, happy birthday again.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that this episode it was about a 6 for me. Okay. This season's a slow burn. It's kind of creeping up where it's getting a little better. But I did want to say, piggybacking on what you said about Shamea and Porsha, that Kelli kind of confirmed that that's fake when she hosted on Dish Nation last week, that they've been friends for so long and just keep paying attention to the season. The truth is going to come out. So I wanted to drop that tea. And also, Ming and Ty are on the new season of Basketball Wives, and Ming confirmed that Drew did have an affair with Ty, and that's why they broke up. But Ty is still trying to get with Ming, and so they're both in LA for this season. So the messiness will endure. So that's it.
Can I just say this? Because I saw a scene with Ming on Basketball Wives. I know some of you were like, are you recapping it? No.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
But Ming, again, I said this before when they were talking about Ming possibly being on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I said the fact that she jumped from Atlanta to Basketball Wives is giving thirsty to be on television. And that already tells me that you're not going to be great for television. And that's the vibe
very
that I got.
much so. She's very dry on Basketball Wives. The whole season is dry. Evelyn's up to her same games. Jackie's a mess for her age. It's terrible, but you're not missing anything. But yeah, those little nuggets were in there. She told on Drew, and Kelli told on Shamea and Porsha.
Okay, thanks, Angel.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too. And that's why I appreciate you guys watch for me and let me know what I'm missing out on. Apparently, I'm not missing anything. Sidebar. You know what show I watched? Thank you so much, Alberto. I watched Running Point with Kate Hudson and Jay Ellis from Insecure on Netflix. Good show. I'll talk more about it on Club Kempire. I watched the entire season this weekend. This is why I was in the house. It was good. It was funny. It was interesting. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. Running Point and it's created, produced by Mindy Kaling too. Good show. Anyway, I digress. All right, live chat. I'm going to drop the call link for you guys as well. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, of course, here on TikTok. So shout out to everyone watching. Those of you watching on TikTok, keep tapping your screens. And don't forget, you can hear an audio of our live recap and special episodes, like I was just talking about Club Kempire, on the Kempire podcast. A birthday gift to me would be just by giving me a 5-star review on Spotify or on Apple. So thank you in advance for that. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying in the live chat. Okay. Gary, thank you so much for the super chat. Gary says, to be fair, Nene says everybody's a bad friend. So take that with a grain of salt. Happy birthday, Kev. Taurus Gang stand up. Good point. Good point. And I can't say that Nene is the best friend either. So, HG, thank you so much for the super chat. HG says, Shamea has been holding her feeling in for a long time. It's difficult for things to change when their dynamic has been imbalanced for so long. And now, with Shamea being a full-time housewife on the show, and I told you, I feel like, although Andy was like, don't say that you guys aren't sisters anymore. You're still sisters. He didn't say it like that, but basically what he was saying, I was like, y'all gonna play against that because it's great fodder for your show. Watch behind the scenes. They're not gonna tell you this, but behind the scenes, production, the network, they're gonna make Shamea feel like she's the brand new it girl, and it's going to foster continue issues between them. Watch. All right. Thank you so much, HG, for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Ashley, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Ashley says, what they're doing to Drew is not okay, but at least she's mentioned every episode. Happy birthday, Kempire. Happy birthday, Andrew, my brother. Happy birthday, Andrew. Aren't you lucky, Ashley? All right. I agree. Like, I had that thought watching this episode. I was like, they're really trying to dog Drew out, and they're making me want to defend Drew. And I think it's going to blow up in their face because they're constantly coming for Drew. And although Drew can be a liar at times, I'm ready to fight for Drew this season. Because it's like, maybe because you don't have a storyline in sight. That's what's happening. Maybe. MK, thank you so much for the super chat. MK says, best believe if Shamea was getting married in Europe, Porsha would have made it. Porsha just didn't want to go to Africa. I said what I said. But then she married an African man and then she went to Nigeria a couple times. And now she says she's Nigerian. What you mean? I don't know. I don't think it had anything to do with Africa. I think it had more so to do with not you marrying, you doing what I've been trying to do 10 years ago. I think it had more to do with jealousy than the continent. Okay. All right. Let me get to the rest of these calls because we have a line. Ariana, we're going to bring you up next. Ariana, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Happy birthday. Well, belated birthday.
Hope
you had a really good one. And,
thank you.
Did great things.
I did nothing, Ariana. I chilled at home playing a plan.
Yeah. You definitely need to fix that. Do something tonight, something tomorrow. I don't care. Something.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't really have much on the show. I agreed with you that this episode was much better than like the last 4 combined. Mm-hmm. And I'm still just not sure like what the direction of the show is. Like I just don't know where it's going, why it's going. Like it's not giving anything. But yeah, that's kind of all I had. Oh, actually, one more thing. Tory Lanez got stabbed today.
In jail?
Yes.
By who?
I don't know by who, but I hope they're okay and the knife is okay or whatever.
Goodbye, Ariana. But thank you for the update. All right, Brandy's backstage. We're going to bring Brandy up next. Brandy, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 2 things real quick.
Okay.
I saw the preview from next week, and I feel so much secondhand embarrassment for Angela. It couldn't be me.
Yeah.
And I really want to like Porsha, but I feel like she is too self-centered, and it shows in how she treats 2 of the closest people to her, which is her sister and her best friend. When Lauren was pregnant, Porsha was jealous of the attention that she was getting, and she hurried up and went and got pregnant. And I think Porsha would have still been with Dennis too, but when Shamea got married to a filthy rich African, Porsha, not being smart and all, immediately assumed all Africans are rich and wanted to get her one too by any means necessary. So Shamea couldn't have one up on her. So when she went to Fallon and Simon's house, that just reinforced the stereotype in her head that all Africans are rich, and she had to get her a rich African by any means necessary, which is why she stole that woman's husband.
See,
but little did she know the joke was finna be on her, because you never win when you play dirty, like Nene said.
Ill intentions. When you have ill intentions is what happens. One thing I will say, I feel like Shamea has good intentions. I feel like Portia's intentions, but okay.
Exactly.
Thanks, Brandy. I love how you guys call it, because you really made me think. I'm like, All right. We've got Amina backstage. Amina, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. I said I wasn't going to watch any more of this show, but I watched it because I had nothing else to do, but I regretted it so badly. The whole episode, I was rolling my eyes so hard. This cast has to be the most ridiculous cast we've ever had in Atlanta. It's so ill. The fact that they make Drew look sensible is blowing my mind. Porsha and Shamea, I think the thing was fake. When she started crying, when she was talking to Angela, I smelled a humongous New York-sized rat. I was like, nah. This is too much. But then I think it started as a plot, but then it got serious. I think Shamea added her real feelings to the plot, and now it's like a serious beef. But I think it's a mixture of the two. I think it's a mixture between real feelings and pretending for the camera. And if I see Ralph one more time,
with that sprayed on fade.
Away from me. God. Anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Amina. Yeah, if we see Ralph in a confessional with that sprayed on fade again, I'm like, he is so like. You ever see? Okay, am I gonna say this, or I should leave for the Kempire After Dark? I will say it. You ever see a face that you just want to hit? I'm sorry, come on. We don't condone violence, but I'm just sometimes like, just get in my face. Like, oh. All right, Toya is backstage. We're gonna bring Toya up next. Toya, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Celebrate all month.
Yes.
I agree with you. Something about Kelli and her finances do seem a bit sketchy, but I think because they come on this show, they want to present the facade. But it's okay to say, look, my money is tied up right now because I'm getting a divorce. That's okay. Yeah. Angela, girl, you was giving Charles an excuse about the cheating. But the 5 houses, I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get them all sold. That's a lot. But it's, I guess, high risk, high reward. Also, with Shamea and Porsha, I think the beef is real. I think we've seen enough of them with Portia's bad friendship. I think it's kind of real.
I mean, I'm open to both ideas, but I keep watching and I'm just like, But okay, we shall see.
Can I say something about their friendship, too?
What?
I think that because they're all in the same friend group, that they're probably getting, even though they have like beefs within them, it's kind of hard to stop completely being friends with somebody when y'all all are in the same friend group.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I have friends, Kempire, that like me and them kind of fell out, but we're all in the same group. So we keep it cordial. We keep it cute, not to make nobody feel uncomfortable. But I'm like, if we weren't in this group chat or like a group of friends, I wouldn't really mess with you like that. And I think maybe the show and the fact that all of them still hang out together, like, because you know it's a group of girls in Atlanta. Yeah. It's Candy, it's Toya, it's Mayetta. It's a lot of them girls that are always together.
You bring up a valid point. You bring up a valid point. So she feels like she keeps it cordial and she keeps the facade. Oh, that's my best friend.
Yeah, and you know they're not besties. And Shamea don't need to be Portia's lapdog. That's what Lauren's for. All right, let me go.
Oh, damn. Why Lauren getting damn? All right, now Booty for Beats is backstage. Booty for Beats.
Hey, Kempires. Actually, Taurus with the team. Just wanted to be a little funny. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Really, what I wanted to say was, I think we are speculating that the beef between Porsha and Shamea is fake because we're so used to them being on camera being fake. That's why, but I actually think it's real. I've had friends before in the past, like Porsha and Shamea. Let's just say we're no longer friends. They have traits that I personally cannot hold close to me. Angela, you and I are 2 different type of Tauruses because a child on my head is a no-go for me. I don't care. Yeah. And I wanted to say really quickly, that bartender, I worked with him here in Atlanta. Ooh. I worked with him here in Atlanta. He unfortunately got dismissed for some fraudulent activities on the job. And I will say he has been on TV before. He has been on season 5 of Temptation Island.
Oh.
And if you have time to watch it, I think you should. It is very interesting when you work with someone, but then you actually see their real character come out for the cameras.
So that's why he was being so flirtatious with the women. He wanted camera time.
He was actually always overly flirtatious at work. Like, I've heard him multiple times saying a lot of inappropriate things to customers. And I think he gets away with it because, you know, he is attractive. He does have a nice smile, but that doesn't really give you the excuse to go around and just like be the way how you are. But
why you gotta ruin my fantasy, booty for the beats?
I'm sorry. You know, I gotta protect you at all costs, Kat.
I mean, I wasn't gonna try to sleep with him, but I was just saying. That was in my head.
Thank God. Okay, bye.
Thanks. Booty for the beats. Damn, now everyone dropping tea. Damn. There's a melody. Who is this hoe? Every time I see who is this hoe, I hear Kenya's voice in my head. Damn. I mean, if Kenya didn't do what she did with those poster boards, I would add it to the soundboard, but I just don't want to be a part of that. Unless y'all tell me to. Shut up. Who's that at? All right. Brandy's backstage. Another Brandy. Hey, Brandy Janae.
Hey. Oh, and when you called the first Brandy, you should have saw me trying to get ready. I thought it was me.
I didn't realize there was another one back there, but I'm glad you had the other name. What's going on?
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
And yes, add it because I was just typing it in the chat. I think of that all the time, and it was classic. Too bad she had to leave, but yes, who is this hoe? But anyway, it lived rent free in my head. Okay, so that's what I want to say. I think that the beef between Porsha and Shamea is real. What I think we're watching is a shift in dynamics or a shift in like power. And what's going to be interesting is if they are going to be able to get through that and stay friends.
Yeah.
And I don't think most friendships, that's a hard one to get through when those dynamics shift and the way that they're shifting. Also with Shamea.
Finish your thought.
Okay. I think Kenya was right when she said it's not a good idea to turn those friends into housewives. I think Shamea is giving us a projected view of what she think a housewife is supposed to be. And it's not falling for me. It's lying a little flat. And it's making her look a little,
Brandy,
not
I agree.
so real.
I had that thought this morning as I was watching. I was like, I think she's pretending to be a housewife. Even when she was on Watch What Happens Live.
The clothing, the everything. Because I think it's okay for you to have had all of this before. I still want the same girl that's been showing up. I'm looking for that girl. I don't know who this is. Who is this hoe? Again,
Bye. I should just record Brady's voice is perfect for it. I was like, who is this? Oh, I love that. All right, Nicole's back. We have a long line, so let me get to all the callers. Nicole, hold on, Elizabeth. There we go, Nicole.
Oh, who is this hoe? I love that. Happy birthday, Kempire.
Thank you.
Wishing you many, many, many blessings.
Thank you.
Okay, what I was going to say, I feel like Shamea just played her hand wrong. I do believe that I agree with you when you said that you feel like it's kind of like a setup, like they're just doing that as a storyline. But then on the same breath, I honestly believe that it's that underlining bubbliness that's coming up of Shamea feeling like that friend that poured so much love into a friend that's not reciprocating it back. And so Shamea, what she should have did, she should have used this opportunity to show us who she really was instead of being the friend that she's been all these years, like you've always been saying. And I feel like Porsha, she's that type of friend, like as long as she can keep dimming your light and she can keep shining, she doesn't care about anybody else's feelings. And I think that's what her and Shamea are going through right now. So I think Shamea now is actually seeing it for what it is. She's probably going back to high school, remembering because trust me, I ended a 30-year friendship too like that. Ooh. Where you have to go back and you're like, oh yeah, this is why my mama always used to tell me when I was in high school, she didn't like that particular girl. You know what I'm saying? Like you start seeing a lot of things like, oh, she was hating on me the whole damn time. Okay, I'm gonna get off. But I think that's what Shamea is going through.
Wow.
But she's trying to give her grace about it. But I'm sure behind the scenes, she's probably cussing her out. All right, have a blessed one.
Thanks, Nicole. Wow. This is eye-opening, some of what you're saying. Haban, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Says, happy birthday, my birthday twin, May 11th. Happy belated birthday, Haban. You know who also celebrates a birthday on May 11th is Black China, always shocking to me, and I think Cam Newton. We are not the same. Again, why you need to know your rising, your moon, your Venus, not the same. Leo moon, Cancer rising. I mean, Black China now, but Black China back in the day, and then Cam Newton. What? All right. Elizabeth RN is backstage. We're going to bring Elizabeth up. Elizabeth, what's going on? Elizabeth?
Happy birthday, Kempire.
Hey.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, happy birthday. I wanted to start off with that. I hope you're going to have a great week and a great rest of the tourist season.
Thank you.
What I wanted to say is I don't think Angela is playing Bone Collector this season. I think Angela sat down, went back home after that trip, and she said, you guys have a lot of time on your hands. So instead of discussing Charles, how about y'all discuss y'all's friendship? And so she played the role of Bone Collector, not to be like the Bone Collector, but she was like, since y'all want to talk so much, here, how about y'all talk about this stuff, what so-and-so has been saying about you, and what so-and-so has been saying about you. Y'all figure this out instead of being my business and my marriage. And the other thing I wanted to say, Angela's very smart. She's the smartest one so far. So I think she got home. She said, you know what? Y'all want to do something? Y'all want to play around in y'all own mess that has been festering for years now. Since y'all want to act like besties, but you guys have these huge underlying issues, here y'all go. And I agree with the last caller. I had to end a friendship as well with somebody who behaved like Porsha. It's okay. It's like if they don't want nothing that you have, you won't be in their firing line. But as soon as you get too close, they will take you down. So that's all. And happy birthday again.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. These perspectives. Hey, everyone watching on TikTok, keep watching. If there's any issues with the stream, head on over to our YouTube. We're also streaming on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook as well. The Kempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. Wait, hold on, Stephanie. What's Stephanie say? Kemp, would you consider doing a Kempire After Dark on navigating friendships? I mean, we can. I mean, regardless, when I do the New York City show, we'll talk about Atlanta, and when I announce some other cities, we will be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I think that will lead us to a conversation about that. So stay tuned. Exactly. April says, Angela said, play with your mom, your mammy, not me. I mean, I still believe she's being a bone collector, but I agree with Elizabeth. I think she probably saw that they were all want to talk about her stuff. Let's talk about your stuff. Again, Tauruses, everyone opens up to us. Everyone shares our information. Shares information with us. And then you meet the right Taurus. I mean, I'm like a vault, but you meet the right Taurus. Oh, you want to play with me? Bam, bam, bam. And that's what Angela's doing. But I still think she's being a bone collector. Elizabeth says, no, I am not Kelly. Everyone say you sound like Kelly. No, your voice wasn't that loud and obnoxious. All right. Let me bring up Tyler's backstage. Tyler, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. So, happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
I want to say this. Shamea, on her end, the beef is authentic. Porsha, the producers told Porsha, I'm tired of this stuff with Drew. And once Angela gave her that bone, she just carried it all the way so she can be able to have another storyline. That's what's going on. Now, let me say what Angela is doing. Angela, she was compared to Sheree, but she's playing a Kenya game. What she's doing is, Porsha, you said you want to sleep with my husband. I'm going to go around to every girl and share everything. It's going to look like I'm supporting you. Eventually, they'll be all on my side, and you'll be the odd one out. You remember when Kenya did that to Nene? Kenya did that to Nene. She got her best friend first. Get it? She got Cynthia first, and then eventually Candy and everybody else came around. One thing about Angela, she's very strategic and calculated. But let me say this, Angela, you also admitted you've been watching this show since forever. You knew Porsha didn't show up to that wedding.
Yeah, she denied it.
You gaslighted Shamea, which is fine because it needed to be out. But what Angela is doing is purposely making Porsha the odd one out. Just watch. By next season, nobody will fool with Porsha. Watch.
And here's the thing.
Here's
the thing. I think it's easy to eliminate Porsha, especially after the season, when you think it's hard to do something like that with like a Nene because Nene's so integral to the show. However, Porsha has, especially in the season, is not as important. They could eliminate Porsha after that.
And I'll make this last comment about Shamea. I do think that she's trying to navigate and figure out how to be what we think we want to be a housewife. But I give her a little bit of grace because she's around a group of girls she normally would not be around. I think with the formulation of her friendship with Kelli, and I actually think her and Angela next season will be a budding friendship. I can kind of see that happening. I think we'll get more see Porsha on the island by herself.
If Porsha comes back. All right. Your sound went out, Tyler. But thank you, Tyler, for calling in. Let me bring up Princess Leia. Princess Leia, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta's latest episode?
Hey, baby. Happy birthday.
Hey, baby.
First thing, Angela being a new bone collector, it fits, but she don't stutter like Sheree always did when she was in the hot seat. And then as far as Porsha and Shamea's dynamic, I don't think, even if it is scripted, it's making me upset either way because there's no way that Porsha wasn't like this before the cameras. So if you at 40 plus years old need to be in front of the world on TV to be shown that your best friend ain't your best friend, ain't even a friend, an associate or nothing, then baby, I'm just keep praying. And I'm gonna pray real hard for you. And I'm gonna pray that they hit higher.
I ain't praying for her.
The way she acting, she don't deserve no prayer, okay? She need to step on to Jesus like she tell everybody else to do. So thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, Princess Leia. Take care. Here's the thing. I felt for Shamea before. We're talking like 10 years later. Shamea, if you don't see it, girl, there ain't no prayer that's going to help, okay? Houston on TV on TikTok says, disagree. These are things that Porsha did. Angela ain't making that stuff up. Facts. All right. Anthony's backstage. Let's bring Anthony up next. Anthony. Oh, there you go. Anthony, are you there?
Hello?
There we go.
Hey, Kempire, Anthony from Los Angeles, California. Happy belated B-Day.
Thank you.
Thank you. So first of all, I'm hearing Wendy Williams still being relevant to Atlanta all these years later. I love it. I love and miss Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Team Shamea because Porsha is the type of friend that has to be Queen Bee. She doesn't want anyone around her being better than her. The fact that Shamea had a destination wedding with a man that has money, legitimate money, I just know Porsha was fuming with jealousy because for her reasons, for health reasons, she went still to Japan for the cast trip for season 11. So you're not fooling anybody with this health reason. Like, makes sense. And also for Angela to not invite Porsha to her actual home. Don't ever invite a hoe to a home. I love Angela. Thank you so much, Kempire.
Damn, Anthony. Anthony's so sweet, but he can be so shady. All right, Chrissy's backstage. We're going to bring Chrissy up next. Chrissy, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to have a question. Because Shamea keeps saying, oh, Porsha's my sister. Porsha's my... What kind of sisters were y'all? Were y'all scissor sisters? Because this is giving me the Mia... I can't remember Mia's best friend, but that's
Jacqueline.
The same situation. Yep, same situation. You always got her back. What were y'all... That's not a normal sister. Y'all not scissor sisters, okay? Don't forget what Phaedra was saying, that, Shamea was doing that thing with Candy and Little Todd, so that Shamea may swing that way, and we already know Porsha swings that way. Okay, now. Mm-hmm. And then also, I'm going to come for Kelli again. I'm going to come for Kelli. Because Kelli, girl, that man, your swap husband, he robbed you blind. And you want to sit here and act like that $3 million house was not impressive for you. Girl, you should be, you going to take whatever Angela can give you, okay? Because I know you need space in that house with those slick mouth daughters of yours. They're beautiful, but they so slick. I know she needs space. So that's all I had to say.
Yeah, she was trying to act prissy. That's what she was trying to do. Thanks, Chrissy. Speaking of prissy. All right, Kay's backstage. Going to bring Kay up next. Kay, what's going on?
Hi, Kim. Birthday wishes from Johannesburg.
Thank you.
It's my first time calling in, and I just wanted to say I think the beef between Porsha and Shamea is fake because I kind of got clued into it when Porsha said, when she was compiling her dream list of like women who'd be on the show, she told Shamea because her husband doesn't want to film it would be an issue.
Yes.
So I think the two of them got together to say, my husband's off the table because he's swinging about this house. Yours doesn't want to film. What are we going to make our time on the show about? People have been talking about our friendship for decades, so let's do and make a thing out of it. And I think what they chose to do was lie close to the truth. So they didn't want to invent a whole new issue. They brought up the wedding thing because you've been friends since grade school. You're fighting to something from 10 years ago. Be so for real. So that's what I think is going on with them.
Kay, I see you. Thank you so much for calling in, Kay, all the way from South Africa. All right, before we get to the rest of the calls, we had a few super chats I want to say thank you for. Again, guys, keep liking the videos, an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We are still celebrating my birthday all week long here on the channel. All week long. So happy birthday to me. Yes. 30 yet again. 30 yet again. Okay. All right. SquareBiz, thank you so much for the super chat. SquareBiz says Ming Lee's name was mentioned in the court documents by Simon, insinuating that Porsha had a fling with Ming Lee. I forgot about that. I vaguely remember that. I mean, am I shocked? Not really, but yeah. Miss Fancy Pants, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Miss Fancy Pants says, you are absolutely right. Shamea and Phaedra were at Bravo upfronts. No Porsha. T. Interesting. Wendy, thank you so much for the super chat. Wendy says, Wendy, let me shimmy for the dollars. All right. Wendy says, this is to wish you a very happy birthday, dearest Kemp. Thank you so much, Wendy. I appreciate that. Linda, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Linda says, happy birthday. You and my son are the same sign. Aren't you lucky? Gracie, thank you so much for the super chat. Gracie says, Kelli and the stylist Paris are done. T. I'm not surprised by that because we saw that Paris was with, what's her face? Britt. Why I always go blank on Britt's name? Episode 10. They were styling Britt here in New York, and I was like, isn't that Kelly's stylist? I wonder what happened there. Did Kelly not pay? Oh no, look. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Another super chat. Keith says, I found it funny that Kelly was shading Angela's rental property, yet she's living in a duplex next to Marlo Hampton with lawsuits under her belt. I think Kelly was just doing that again. I think that she and in the after show with Shamea were trying to have that sort of Sheree and Kenya moment with the houses stuff. And I was like, it didn't land because we're walking through a $3 million home that looks good. Yes, there are certain things that still need to be done, but it's under construction. It just didn't land that way. King of Kings, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. King of Kings says, I think Angela does the bone collecting the right way. She tells the truth and seems genuine. Happy birthday, Kemp. Thank you, King of Kings. Yeah, you're right. I know Andy Cohen put it out there that Angela reminds him of Sheree. That might be the difference between her and Sheree. I believe that Angela is telling us the truth, that Angela is authentic, unlike Sheree. And Sheree's like, why are y'all talking about me? Angel, thank you so much for being a member, and thank you for the super chat. Angel says, happy birthday, Kim. Drop a travel video ASAP. You know what? I wish I could. Hopefully soon. Okay. All right. Let me... Y'all came up with a new name for Britt. I'm not going to even read that. Okay. Lavender Harmony's backstage. Lavender Harmony, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, I'm still working on my birthday, so everybody should stop asking. You're fine. Britt and Mike are bunkmates. Shamea needs to let go of wearing so many labels. It's ridiculous. We know you have money. Relax. Porsha hasn't changed. I don't know why we're surprised. I thought her tears were fake as well. But then when I saw Shamea get emotional, I felt bad because friendship breakups are the worst. And then I wonder if the husbands are going to show up this year. We haven't had wives in ages. So that might be fun. Imagine Charles at the reunion. That'd be dope. Okay. That's all.
I definitely think he'll be at the reunion. I definitely think Charles will be at the reunion. Thanks, Lavender Harmony. You're right. So we're going to have Mike, Charles. We haven't even seen the husbands interact. Gerald better be at this reunion. If Gerald is not at this reunion, Shamea, like, come on. All right. Excommunicado is backstage. Excommunicado, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have 3 meetings to touch on, so hopefully I have enough time. About the fallouts of their friendship, I'm not sure if it's actually fake, because if you remember Porsha in that conversation with Angela, when we were talking about what Drew had said in the studio, she was like, that is not the way Shamea brought it to me. And that kind of resounded what her mother told her, like in earlier episode, like, mind the dog who brings the bone and the way they bring it and all of that. So it kind of falls in line with like her mother got in her ear and then she's picking up on these things and running with it. Beyond that, I am liking the episode. I think Kelly's scene was very cute with her kids where they were dragging her because they told her how she's too old to have fun and then she doesn't know how to cook. And then thirdly, about Angela and the whole Shamea drama, I like Angela, but I kind of didn't like the way it played out because it feels like Shamea had a honest conversation with them off camera, and then you bring it on camera. And if it keeps appearing that you're playing to the producers a bit too much, you might totally lose real friendship and allies on the show. So she might need to watch that.
All right.
Beyond that, I think that's pretty much it for me. I think they're doing well so far. I would rate the episode at 8.
Oh, okay. All right, that's not bad. I think,
and about Brit Edie and the husband storyline coming up. If you remember, Kelly called the husband their roommate in one of the scenes or previews. So
thanks for a reminder. So maybe it might be remind us what Shamea had to say on Watch What Happens Live, and like, are they really married? I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for calling in. Take care.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. All right, we're going to bring up Audrey next. Audrey will be our last caller, guys. Again, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Let's get to 1,500 likes. We have over 2,700 and something of you watching on YouTube and Facebook. Shout out to those of you that are watching on Twitch and Twitter. Those of you watching here on TikTok as well. Keep tapping your screens. Thank you guys all for all of the birthday wishes. I will be celebrating all week long, okay? All right. Let me see. Let me just say thank you. Thank you, CYC, for the super chat. Says happy birthday. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat and the love. All right, let's bring up Audrey next. Audrey, what did you want to share about the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire.
Uh-oh, you're breaking up a bit. Now I can't hear you. Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
Now?
No, there we go.
Oh no. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh no. Okay, you can hear me. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Oh God, I feel like I ate up all my time. I just wanted to say happy belated birthday. And just real quickly, I hope that this is real with Shamea. I hope that she is seeing that what everyone else is seeing, that Porsha is clearly jealous of her. And I'm really liking Angela. I think she has like this quiet confidence that I think is coming well across the screen. So far so good. Get Edie off of our TV. Literally every single time she comes on the television screen, I get up and I go to the kitchen, I get a snack. So that should say something right there. But I just want to say, so far so good. Angela, Kelly, Shamea, I think they should stay, and I think everybody else should be rebooted and bring back Kenya. Those are my only thoughts, and happy birthday again.
Thank you so much, Audrey. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye. Damn. Okay. All right. Shout out to everyone that called, and we appreciate it. Shout out to our channel members. We appreciate their monthly support. Become a member today at TeamKempire.com/join. Thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down. Thank you all for the super chats, the Venmos, the Cash Apps, all of that. Gracie, thank you for another super chat. Gracie says BravoCon list for RHOA is Drew, Cynthia, Kelli, Phaedra, Shamea, and Sheree. No Brit. Well, it's still early. Remember, that's in November. The fact that you haven't announced that they're attending doesn't mean anything. So, but we shall see. But thank you, Gracie, for that tea. We shall see what the final list will be in regards to that. And for those that are asking whether or not I'm going, if Bravo's paying, then I'll go. Look. Just saying. All right. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for calling in, everyone that sent in the super chat. I want to thank our sponsors. Again, head on over to butterskin.com/Kempire for your 10% off if you want to know my skincare product. TikTok, check out my TikTok shop for more in regards to the products that we're selling over there. And of course, thank you to our friends over at the Green Room 42, the Kempire After Dark. The Villain Era show is returning this fall, September 12th. Live stream tickets are available. Go get your tickets today. If you're in New York City or will be in New York City or want to be in New York City, tickets are on sale today. So go get your tickets. More information is available in the live chat and in the description for the replay crew. And for those that are listening on the podcast, the information will be available in the episode notes. Thank you all for being here. Replay crew, as always, be sure to let us know where you're watching from, how you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and your thoughts on what the episode gave you, your thoughts on what we had to say, what the callers had to say, and whether or not you believe this beef is happening between Shamea and Porsha. I'm leaning more towards like the beef is real for Shamea, but maybe Porsha is going to drag it out for a storyline. We shall see. All right. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all for being here. And in regards to your Diddy updates, we will be giving you Diddy updates, just not on a daily basis, because there are cameras. There are not cameras in the courtroom. Today, they selected the jury, and they probably will have opening statements. Anything that's pertinent, I will be giving you an update. It might be pre-recorded, if not live, so stay tuned for that. And make sure you're subscribed and make sure your notifications are on. Again, if we go live, your notifications will notify you, or make sure that you're following me on other platforms so that you're notified when we go live if there is any breaking news in regards to the Diddy update. All right. Thank you all for being here, guys. Chastity says, are you coming to Atlanta? Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give the Kempire 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And as always, for more information on everything Kempire Radio Network, head on over to KempireRadio.com.